Chapter 642. Showdown. You're telling me not to be impulsive? Yan Hongwu asked. That's fine. But how are you going to deal with this matter? What about Yuji? How is she doing? If she's harmed in the slightest, no one will be able to bear the consequences. Even the entire ancient domain will be destroyed. I'll make the entire ancient domain accompany her in death. Yan Hongwu's words were filled with ruthlessness. Hearing this, the Tianyi leader was quite frightened. That guy was too terrifying. Fortunately, he had stopped him in time. If that guy had touched Yuji, the Tianyi immortal manor would have no more peaceful days. In fact, Leader Tianyi didn't have any good impression of the Heaven Domain's envoy. After coming to the lower realm, he acted like a tyrant. He wanted this and that, and he even acted high and mighty in front of him. He didn't put him in his eyes at all. This made Leader Tianyi very dissatisfied, but he didn't dare to show it. After all, he was an envoy from the Heaven Domain. He was sent by the Tianyi Sacred Prefecture. His purpose was to deal with the devil race and deal with the devil race. The devil race had appeared in the ancient domain and they were ready to make a move. Soon, there would be a great disaster, a disaster that had never happened before. The devil race would invade the entire ancient domain. At that time, if there weren't any experts overseeing it, the entire ancient domain would fall. It would be controlled by the devil race and become their breeding ground. This was something Leader Tianyi didn't want to see. Therefore, this time, the 4 great immortal mansions, the 7 great sects and the 10 great clans in the Heaven Domain had sent envoys to resist the devil race's invasion. They wanted to resist the devil race's invasion. They wanted to resist the ancient domain's great disaster. Qian Yunzhong was the envoy sent by the Tianyi Sacred Prefecture. The 4 great immortal mansions were called the 4 great sacred mansions in the Heaven Domain. This was similar to how the 4 great immortal mansions were called the 4 great institutes in the ancient desolate continent. I won't. I guarantee that I won't. Looking at Yan Hongwu's eyes, Leader Tianyi didn't doubt Yan Hongwu's words at all. His unnamed disciple's strength increased too quickly. Even though he was only at the 5th level of the Dao platform realm, his battle prowess was terrifying. The Tianyi leader had a vague premonition that if he were to fight with Yan Hongwu, it was still unknown who would win. The Tianyi leader tossed this thought out of his mind and sighed inwardly. Was he overthinking things? No matter how strong Yan Hongwu was, he was only at the 5th level of the Dao pedestal realm. Even if he had many secrets, he might not be able to compare to him. After all, as the leader of an immortal abode, he was capable of mobilizing the power of the entire immortal abode. Once he unleashed his full power, even late-stage exalted experts or peak exalted experts would not be able to resist him. All right, I hope you'll keep your word. Yan Hongwu said, if there's nothing else, I'm going to find Yuji. She's poisoned, so I'm going to detoxify her. Go ahead. Remember, don't get into a conflict with the Tianyu emissary. Otherwise, I won't be able to protect you. The Tianyi leader sighed and reminded him. Don't worry. As long as he doesn't provoke me, I won't find trouble with him, Yan Hongwu said. The Tianyi leader smiled bitterly when he heard this. He didn't know that this kid's tone had become so arrogant after he returned from the outside world. He didn't even care about his master, the leader of the Tianyi immortal abode. In fact, Yan Hongwu originally had some respect for the Tianyi leader. Of course, he was also a little afraid of him. However, he didn't expect that when he returned to the Tianyi immortal abode, such a thing would happen. His woman was harassed, and the Tianyi leader, as his master, actually told him not to be impulsive. How could Yan Hongwu feel good about this? Fortunately, nothing happened to Yuji. Otherwise, Yan Hongwu would really crazily take revenge. By the way, there's something I forgot to tell you. After Yan Hongwu took a few steps, he suddenly stopped and turned around to say to the Tianyi leader. What is it? When Senior Sister Gu and I returned from the outside world, we encountered some accidents while using the greater teleportation talisman. We didn't expect that we would discover something special. Yan Hongwu said, this matter is very important. I'm afraid it will affect the reputation of the Tianyi immortal abode. It might even affect you greatly. More importantly, this matter is related to your last disciple. Ao Tianyi? Tell me, what is this matter that actually involves Ao Tianyi? The Tianyi leader looked at Yan Hanwu and asked. It affected the reputation of the Tianyi immortal abode and it was related to Ao Tianyi. This was definitely not a good thing. Could it be that something had happened to Ao Tianyi? That couldn't be right. Ao Tianyi had been in seclusion recently. He wanted to break through to a higher realm. He wanted to obtain victory in the immortal abode ranking battle in 2 months and become the most outstanding genius of the ancient domain. My Tianyi immortal abode has a grand elder called Ao Jingzi, right? Yan Hanwu asked. Yes, there is such a grand elder. He is Ao Tianyi's grandfather and the grand elder of my Tianyi immortal abode. He is very powerful. He lives on Jingzi Mountain, which is at the edge of my Tianyi immortal abode's sphere of influence. The Tianyi leader nodded and said. If my guess is correct, Ao Jingzi took the initiative to go to the desolate mountain range at the edge of the Tianyi immortal abode, right? Yan Hanwu said. The spiritual energy on Jingzi Mountain was very thin. It was far from being comparable to the main peak of the Tianyi immortal abode. The difference was like heaven and earth. You're right. The Tianyi leader said. What? Did something happen to Grand Elder Ao Jingzi? He's already dead. I killed him. Yan Hanwu said. The Tianyi leader's face sank. He looked at Yan Hanwu and killing intent flashed through his eyes. He said, You killed him? How did you kill him? Why did you kill him? He asked 3 questions in a row. His expression changed very quickly. Yan Hanwu saw it, but he smiled and didn't care. He said, This is what I want to talk to you about. Do you know what I encountered on Jingzi Mountain? It's a huge formation called the Isolation Formation. Moreover, there's also the Evil Spirit Killing Formation. A huge isolation formation was set up on the entire Jingzi Mountain. Within the Isolation Formation, there's the Evil Spirit Killing Formation. It was set up to collect the Evil Spirit Death Chi. The entire Jingzi Mountain, including a city and countless villages, has become a land of death. Everyone has died and turned into Evil Spirit Death Chi. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. The Tianyi leader couldn't believe it when he heard this. Seclusion Formation, Evil Spirit Killing Formation. These news shocked him. He didn't dare to believe it. Evil Spirit Killing Formation. Hundreds of thousands of people in a city within a radius of a few hundred miles had all died. What kind of heinous crime was this? Chapter 643. Secret Record of Heavenly Works. Nothing is impossible. For the sake of benefits, for their own benefit, what can't they do? Yan Hanwu sneered. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Yan Hanwu had recorded everything. That was an image recording stone, which was not a treasure. Of course, it was not something that ordinary people could obtain. However, to Yan Hanwu, the photo stone was nothing. He tossed the photo stone to the Tianyi leader. In fact, even without the shadow recording stone, the Tianyi leader had a way to verify it. It was just that he didn't dare to believe it. After all, for a supreme elder of the Tianyi Immortal Palace to commit such a heinous crime, it would be an enormous blow to the entire Tianyi Immortal Palace. Furthermore, the loss of a supreme elder had an enormous impact on the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. Regardless, this matter had caused enormous losses to the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. Furthermore, if word of this were to spread, it would likely be an even greater blow to the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. The Tianyi leader looked at the memories in the image recording stone, and his face was very gloomy. It was true. He also knew that since Yan Hanwu said so, it must be true. This was a big deal. Taking a deep breath, the Tianyi leader said, Yan Hanwu, I will take care of this matter. I hope you won't spread it. This was related to the reputation of the entire Tianyi Immortal Abode. This matter could not be spread. Rest assured, I am not someone who doesn't know what's important. If it weren't for the fact that I was worried about the Tianyi Immortal Mansion's reputation, I wouldn't be here telling you about this matter, Yang Hanwu said. By the way, Yang Hanwu said, I won't interfere with Ao Tianyi's matter. Whether or not you investigate is your own business. Of course, I don't want Ao Tianyi to cause trouble for me. Don't worry about that. If Ao Tianyi is really involved, I won't be lenient. Leader Tianyi bitterly smiled. He had never thought that things would develop like this. Ao Tianyi was a disciple that he had greatly valued. They were all nurtured as if they were disciples. Even after meeting Yang Hanwu, it was the same. Even though Yang Hongwu's talent was far above Ao Tianyi's, he knew that a monstrous genius like Yang Hanwu wouldn't be able to stay in ancient domain. Even the Tianyi Immortal Abode wouldn't be able to keep him. Perhaps, Yang Hongwu's cultivation would reach the immortal realm much earlier than his own. Therefore, Leader Tianyi did not consider Yang Hanwu as the successor of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. However, the resources given to Yang Hanwu would definitely not be little. It would be a huge blow to the Tianyi Immortal Mansion if they could not rope in such a genius and let him become a disciple of another sect. Now that such a thing had happened, Ao Tianyi was no longer suitable to be the future leader of the Tianyi Immortal Abode. Yang Hanwu was his only choice now. Let's see what results Yang Hanwu could achieve in the Immortal Abode ranking battle and the 5 Extreme Space 2 months later. In the 5 Extreme Space, Yang Hongwu's biggest opponent was Zetian. Zetian's luck was astonishing and he was very strong. He also had the Z family's old ancestor behind him. He was a very difficult person to deal with. After leaving the leader's cave, Yang Hanwu went directly to Heavenly Spirit Peak. Yuji was cultivating on Heavenly Spirit Peak, not God-slaying Peak. Tengaku had a conflict with the Sky Domain's leader and was heavily injured. Yang Hanwu was very grateful. After all, Tengaku was injured because of Yuji. Soon, he and Gu Shaoxian arrived at Heavenly Spirit Peak. Tianjinyan had already sensed Yang Hongwu's return. He had already asked little Miss Muddle to wait at the mountain gate. Senior sister, senior brother Yang, you're back. Master has been waiting for you for a long time. Little Miss Muddle was very happy to see Yang Hanwu and Gu Shaoxian. Little Miss Muddle, this is a gift for you. Yang Hanwu took out something. It was something Yang Hanwu had collected from Snake King Nina in the 10,000 Dragons Valley. This was a secret manual that recorded the secret arts of mechanisms. It was useless to Yang Hanwu, but it was very useful to Little Miss Muddle. Little Miss Muddle loved to study these things. Secret Record of Heavenly Works, this is the secret record of Heavenly Works. Little Miss Muddle was wild with joy. She snatched the ancient book from Yang Hongwu's hands. Her eyes narrowed into slits. She couldn't wait to open it on the spot and read carefully. Yang Hanwu and Gu Shaoxian smiled bitterly. They didn't expect Little Miss Muddle to like this thing so much. It was completely beyond Yang Hongwu's expectations. Yang Hanwu also flipped through the secret record of Heavenly Works. There were many things that Yang Hanwu couldn't understand. It should be known that Yang Hanwu was experienced and knowledgeable. Moreover, his talent was amazing. Basically, he could learn whatever he wanted to cultivate with just a little research. The secret record of Heavenly Works didn't seem to be a particularly strange or mysterious thing. He didn't expect Little Miss Muddle to be so surprised. Could it be that there were still some secrets hidden in the secret record of Heavenly Works? Little Miss Muddle, this is yours anyway. It can't run away. There's no need to be so anxious to read it here, right? Yang Hanwu said. Ah. At this time, Little Miss Muddle came back to her senses. She smiled embarrassedly and said, I was too excited. Sorry, Senior Apprentice Brother Yang. I was too excited. However, this is the secret record of Heavenly Works. Rumor has it that the secret record of Heavenly Works was something left behind by the Heavenly Works Emperor. Even my ancestor was someone who revered. He had always wanted to see the secret record of Heavenly Works, but he never had the chance to do so. I didn't expect to have such an honor. However, it's a pity that this secret record of Heavenly Works isn't the real original. It's just a copy. Furthermore, it's only a very small part. Pausing for a moment, little Miss Muddle looked at Yang Hanwu and said, Senior Apprentice Brother Yang, where did you obtain this secret record of heavenly works? Is there anything else? Yang Hanwu said, I also obtained this in the 10,000 Dragons Valley. I found it in a savage beast's lair. As for other things, there's nothing else. Oh right, I almost forgot. There's such a thing. Yang Hanwu remembered that when Yina obtained the secret record of heavenly works, she also obtained a box. This box was very special. Even a cat couldn't see through it. Even a Sherbauer couldn't open it. There must be a huge secret in it. Yang Hanwu was very curious. However, Yang Hanwu couldn't open it himself. This thing was together with the secret record of heavenly works. Perhaps little Miss Muddle had a way to open it. Although Yang Hanwu could also try to open it, after all, it would take too much effort. There were no formations or restrictions on this thing. The formation-breaking pills and restriction-breaking pills that he refined were completely ineffective. Chapter 644. Back to the mountain gate. They entered the mountain gate. Yang Hanwu saw Yuji and Tianjin. Yuji's strength had increased a lot. She had already reached the divine realm. The poison of this bitter fate mandarin duck was really powerful. However, this way, the poison would become deeper and deeper. The faster Yuji's strength increased, the more powerful the bitter fate mandarin duck would become. This kind of poison would grow stronger as the poisoned person's strength increased. You're finally back. Are you okay? Yuji looked at Yang Hanwu with a trace of tenderness in her eyes. Yang Hanwu had risked his life for her to find the yin-yang coiling dragon grass. She had known this for a long time. I'm fine. Don't worry. Yang Hanwu said. By the way, that bullshit Chanyu emissary didn't hurt you, right? No. Yuji shook her head. It's Senior Godslaying and the leader who stopped him. That bastard. I'll make him wish he was dead. Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed with a cold light. Don't be impulsive. The Tianyu emissary's strength isn't something you can imagine. Even the leader isn't a match for him. If you fight him, it'll be like hitting a rock with an egg. You're courting death. Hearing Yang Hongwu's words, Tianjin's face changed. She was very clear about the Tianyu emissary's strength. Even if Tengaku and the leader joined hands, they might not be a match for him. If the Tianyu emissary wasn't worried about the leader and the demon race, he wouldn't have let it go so easily. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. If I'm not confident, I won't do it. Yang Hanwu said coldly, Yuji, I've already obtained the antidote. Also, Martial Uncle Tian, I have something to tell you. In the 10,000 Dragon Valley, I met Godling and killed him. Yang Hanwu thought for a moment. There was no need to hide this matter. Since the Tian family had a way to revive Lung, then there was no way to hide the fact that he had killed Lung. Therefore, he might as well say it directly. His relationship with He and Tengaku was pretty good. He couldn't make things unpleasant because of this matter. Moreover, he could see that the relationship between Tianjin and Tengaku wasn't that good. Tianjin was surprised by the news. Are you joking? Tian Shenlong was really killed by you? She knew that Tian Shenlong was the focus of the Tian family's cultivation. Those old guys and antiques of the Tian family even gave the Tian family's supreme treasure, the cold blood blade, to Tian Shenlong. The cold blood saber was incomparably strong. It was an emperor weapon with boundless might. Even if he could defeat the heavenly deity, he wouldn't be able to kill him. But Yang Hanwu had actually killed him? It seemed like Yang Hongwu's trump card was far beyond her imagination. Yang Hanwu nodded and said, It's true. At that time, Tian Shenlang and I were fighting for the yin-yang coiling dragon grass. He wanted to kill me. Therefore, I had to kill him. He had the supreme treasure of the Tian family, the cold blood blade. He was very powerful. Even I couldn't kill him. How did you do it? Where's the cold blood blade? Tianjin still couldn't believe it. Good kill. At this time, Tengaku's voice sounded. A figure came in from outside. It was Tengaku. Uncle 3, have you recovered from your injuries? Tianjin saw Tengaku and couldn't help but be surprised. It's just a small injury. It's not a big problem. Tengaku said. Big brother, this time, I have to thank you. If it wasn't for you, I'm afraid that Yuji would be in trouble. Yang Hanwu was very grateful to Tengaku. He had helped him many times. If it wasn't for him, he couldn't even save Yuji. It's nothing. We're brothers. Moreover, I don't like that Tianyu emissary. Tengaku patted Yang Hongwu's shoulder and said. Big brother, this is the cold blood blade of your Tian family. I have already suppressed it. I will return it to you. Yang Hongwu took out the cold blood blade. Although the cold blood blade was powerful, Yang Hongwu knew that this guy couldn't exert its full power in his hands. It would be difficult for Lin Fan to refine the cold blood saber. Why not give the cold blood saber to Sky Destroyer deity? Not only could he return the favor, but he could also make Sky Destroyer deity owe him a favor. Moreover, the cold blood saber could only unleash its full potential in the hands of Sky Destroyer deity. Tengaku stretched out his hand and grabbed the cold blood blade. At this time, the cold blood blade glowed with a red light and merged with Tengaku's hand. It was as if the cold blood blade belonged to Tengaku. Tengaku, who received the cold blood blade, was extremely surprised. He didn't expect that Yang Hongwu would give the cold blood blade to him. Moreover, under such circumstances, the cold blood blade recognized him as its master. Well, Brother Yang, this favor, I will remember it. Tengaku said, Brother, you know my temper. In the future, no matter what happens, I will not hesitate to go through water and tread on fire for you. Yang Hongwu smiled and said, Big brother, that's not right. You said that we are brothers. Moreover, this thing doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Big brother. It's just that I killed the geniuses of the Tian family. This is probably a big blow to the Tian family. I only hope that Big brother and martial uncle won't blame me. No, that won't happen. In fact, it's all thanks to them that Xiao Yuner and I are only left with 2 people. If it wasn't for Big brother forbidding me from killing the people of the Tian family before he passed away, those bastards of the Tian family would have been wiped out by me. Tian Mieshan's murderous aura surged as he spoke. By the way, Big brother, with this cold blood blade, can you compete with the Tianyu envoy? To what extent has the Tianyu envoy's strength reached? Yang Hongwu was concerned about this issue, so he asked. Yang Hongwu had a premonition that sooner or later, he would have to face the Sky Region emissary. Tengaku's expression changed, and he said in a serious tone, Brother, if you want to cause trouble for the Tianyu envoy, I don't agree. The Tianyu envoy is too strong. If he fully unleashes his strength, he can definitely kill a peak venerable. Even if he is suppressed by the law, he can still easily kill a peak venerable. Even if I have the cold blood blade, I am far from being his match. Unless I join forces with the leader and the power of the entire Tianyi Immortal Mansion, we can fight against him. The power of the entire Tianyi Immortal Mansion. Did Yang Hongwu know what the power of the entire Tianyi Immortal Mansion meant? Even a peak venerable was no match for him. In that case, it would not be easy for him to take revenge. Yang Hongwu frowned. Chapter 645. Searching for the ancestral Magi Palace. Yang Hongwu didn't see the Tianyi Palace's emissary in the past 2 days. The emissary seemed to have left the Tianyi Immortal Mansion and was doing something mysterious. Yang Hongwu used the yin-yang coiling dragon grass to detoxify Yuji. However, detoxifying the poison of the bitter mandarin duck wasn't something that could be done in a day. If she wanted to completely eliminate the poison, then she had to completely refine and absorb it. Coupled with the energy of the yin-yang coiling dragon grass, at that time, it wouldn't just be able to eliminate the poison, it would even allow her cultivation to ascend into the first step of the Exalt realm. If it was Yang Hongwu himself, it wouldn't be difficult to refine the energy. However, it would take at least a year for Yu Ji to completely refine such a huge amount of energy. What made Yan Hanwu depressed was that Yu Ji, this great demoness, was still tempting Yan Hanwu at this time. He could only look but not eat, which made Yan Hanwu gnash his teeth in hatred. Good, you big demon. After you've refined the poison, I'll teach you a lesson. After Yu Ji refined the energy of the yin-yang coiling dragon grass for a while, Yan Hanwu slapped Yu Ji's plump buttocks and said loudly. Yu Ji softened in Yan Hanwu's arms and said coquettishly, "My little husband, there's still a way." Yu Ji whispered something in Yan Hanwu's ear. Yan Hanwu's eyes immediately lit up. He threw Yu Ji onto the bed and covered her with the quilt, causing her to rise and fall. 3 days later, Yan Hanwu had completely refined the energy of the yin-yang coiling dragon grass for Yu Ji. As for the rest, it was up to Yu Ji. As for Yan Hanwu, he was ready to leave for the wildlands. He was going to look for the ancient sorcerer's relic in the wildlands to improve his cultivation and to find the ancient sorcerer's relic. If he could restore Xing Tian and Chio's strength, then his strength would really improve by leaps and bounds. At that time, no matter how strong Zetian was, even if he could merge with his original body, he might still be able to fight him. You must be careful. If you encounter danger, run away, understand? Yu Ji said softly to Yan Hanwu. Don't worry, great demoness. I'll be fine. Yan Hanwu said. You should have taken little sister Little Xian in as your disciple long ago. It would have been beneficial to your cultivation. Yu Ji also knew that Gu Shaoxian had a purine immoral body. If Yan Hanwu could dual cultivate with her, his strength would be further improved. However, Yan Hanwu had not acted for a long time, which made Yu Ji a little anxious. Hearing Yu Ji's words, Yan Hanwu couldn't help but smile bitterly. This great demoness really let him enjoy himself last time. Of course, the price was that Yu Ji didn't get out of bed for 3 days. She really did what she said at that time. I know this, but it's not time yet. Moreover, my relationship with senior sister Gu hasn't reached that level yet. I don't want to force her. Yan Hanwu said. You're really an idiot. Little sister Little Xian, if you didn't have such thoughts, would you call me big sister? Yu Ji said snappily. This made Yan Hanwu speechless. This woman's mind was really hard to guess. Well, it's better to let nature take its course. I have to go. I need to make a big breakthrough in my cultivation within 2 months. Yang Hongwu's current cultivation was only at the 5th level of the Dao Foundation realm. However, in 2 months, he would have to face several experts in the Immortal Mansion ranking tournament. They weren't weak, especially Zetian, who was extremely powerful. Although Yan Hanwu was confident, if the old ancestor of the Z family interfered at that time, he wouldn't be able to deal with it. Moreover, Zetian's strength wasn't that simple. While he was improving, what about Zetian? He would also improve. Moreover, the other 3 immortal mansions in Ao Tianyi weren't weaklings. They definitely had countless trump cards. Originally, after what happened to Ao Tianyi's grandfather, Ao Jingze, Ao Tianyi should be the focus of attention. However, Yan Hanwu knew that Ao Jingze was the final disciple of the leader after all. He wasn't the same as a nominal disciple. Perhaps the leader wouldn't give up on Ao Tianyi so easily. Therefore, Ao Tianyi would definitely participate in this Immortal Mansion ranking tournament. At that time, he would have to fight with Ao Tianyi. It was unavoidable. After all, he had killed Ao Tianyi's grandfather. Not only Ao Tianyi, but also Tai Yuanba and the others. In addition, Tian Shenlong had been killed by him in the Myriad Dragon Valley. However, he would revive in the Resurrection Divine Pool and his strength would increase sharply. Although Yan Hanwu didn't care much about it, he still had to be careful. Alright, then you have to be careful. If you can't do it, just teleport back. After nodding heavily, Yan Hanwu left the Heavenly Spirit Peak. As for Gu Shaoxian, she was also there. However, she was cultivating in the Immortal Pagoda. After flying for 2 days on the back of the Golden Peng, they finally arrived at the edge of the savage 100,000 mountains. Here, they were about to enter the savage 100,000 mountains. There were dangers everywhere. Savage beasts, and so on. They didn't have a good impression of human cultivators. Fortunately, Yang Hanwu had a map and Chiyu could ask and communicate with him. As the heaven wizard of the sorcerer tribe, Chiyu had lived in the wild 100,000 mountain range for countless years. He was the king and leader of this place, so he was very familiar with the wild 100,000 mountain range. Even though the wild 100,000 mountain range had undergone tremendous changes over the years, many ancient places would not change. The savage 100,000 mountains is full of dangers. The place where the ancestral Magi Palace is located is very hidden. If you can find it, there will be great danger. Therefore, you must be careful. Chiyu said. I know. However, as the former leader of the sorcerer tribe, don't you have any information about the ancestral Magi Palace? Yang Hanwu asked curiously. That year, Xing Tian started the War of Conquering the Heavens. He failed in the end, causing the sorcerer tribe to suffer a great blow. The ancestral Magi Palace also lost its inheritance at that time. Chiyu shook his head and said, unless you can break through the Great Wizard realm, you can sense the existence of the ancestral Magi Palace. However, even if you can sense it, you may not be able to enter it. A Great Wizard was equivalent to a Great Saint. How difficult was it to enter the Great Wizard realm from the Heaven Wizard realm? Moreover, according to the records, even if you break into the level of Senior Magus, you still have to pass many tests in order to enter the ancestral Magus Palace. The tests are very difficult. Back then, there were countless Senior Magi, but only one person passed the tests, and that was Senior Magus Xing Tian. The other Senior Magi either died or were injured when they entered the test. Chiyu said, your strength is still far from enough. However, with the help of the Xing Tian battle map and your great luck, you may have a chance. Chapter 646. Scarlet-eyed gibbon, be careful, there's a scarlet-eyed gibbon ahead. Yang Hanwu quickly stopped. There was a giant gibbon on a tree not far away. The giant gibbon's eyes were scarlet red and it was staring at Yang Hanwu. It bared its teeth and made a hissing sound. This scarlet-eyed gibbon is very strong. It's equivalent to a fourth-step martial saint. Chiyu warned, moreover, there's usually more than one. You have to be careful. Yang Hanwu bitterly smiled when he saw the scarlet-eyed long-armed ape's hostility towards him. This battle was unavoidable. At this moment, the scarlet-eyed gibbon charged towards him. What a beast! You're courting death. Yang Hanwu didn't want to be entangled with it. He didn't expect the beast to charge at him. It wouldn't be good if he didn't take care of it. He stretched out his hand and held the true dragon blade in his hand. Kill! True dragon breaks the sky. He waved the true dragon blade and a golden dragon charged out. It was as if it wanted to tear the world apart. A terrifying force clashed with the scarlet-eyed gibbon. The scarlet-eyed gibbon wasn't a pushover either. It had taken out a staff at some point, and with a wave of the staff, the image of a mountain range appeared. A terrifying pressure came crashing down, colliding with the golden dragon. Rumble! There was an explosion. An earth-shattering sound was heard. A terrifying aura exploded out, and the powerful force caused the surrounding trees to shatter. The entire area within a radius of tens of meters was flattened. Yang Hanwu was pushed back. He took a deep breath and looked at the scarlet-eyed gibbon. This beast was so strong and had such a powerful weapon. That black stick didn't seem to be simple. Heavy ironing wood. The scarlet-eyed gibbon's stick is heavy ironing wood. It's extremely rare in the desolate mountains. It's an excellent material for forging weapons. Chiyu said, it can be used to forge emperor weapons. It can be used to forge emperor weapons? Yang Hongwu's eyes lit up. He didn't expect there to be such a good item. The scarlet-eyed gibbon must have a lot of good items on it. Human, you're strong. However, you're destined to die in my hands. The scarlet-eyed gibbon looked at Yang Hanwu and said, there's a very fragrant smell in your flesh. If I eat you, my strength will definitely increase. At that time, I'll be able to challenge the king. When Yan Hanwu heard this, he was shocked. This scarlet-eyed gibbon wasn't a king. It seemed there was a tribe, and within that tribe, there was an even stronger scarlet-eyed gibbon. Yan Hanwu suddenly had an idea. If he could subdue the scarlet-eyed gibbon, it might be a good choice. If he could subdue the scarlet-eyed gibbon, then he could subdue the entire scarlet-eyed gibbon tribe. That way, he would have another power. In the desolate mountains, there were many things he didn't know. Even with Mauer and Chiyu's help, there were many things he wasn't clear about. The scarlet-eyed gibbon was, after all, a native of this place. It should know a lot of things. You want to become the scarlet-eyed gibbon tribe's king. Why don't we make a deal? Yang Hanwu looked at the scarlet-eyed gibbon. What deal? The scarlet-eyed gibbon wasn't simple. It already had a decent amount of intelligence. It wasn't inferior to human warriors. Generally speaking, when a savage beast reached this level, its intelligence wouldn't be weak. You can help me become the Ape King? If you can help me become the Ape King, I won't kill you. I'll even make you my slave. When Yan Hanwu heard this, he didn't get angry. Instead, he laughed. This beast really didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. He actually wanted to make him his slave. Little monkey, you really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Do you have the ability to make me your slave? Yan Hanwu sneered and said. Humph, humph. I, Chiiba, have tyrannical strength and amazing talent. I'm a once-in-a-thousand-years genius in the scarlet-eyed gibbon tribe. Even the old ape can't compare to me. If it wasn't for my short cultivation time, the position of Ape King would have been mine. It's your honor to be my slave. You have to cherish it. Otherwise, I'll beat you to death and eat your flesh. That way, my strength will greatly increase. In less than a year, I'll be able to kill the Ape King and become the new Ape King, Chiiba said loudly. You little monkey, it seems that if I don't teach you a lesson, you won't know what it means to be an expert and a genius. Yang Hanwu was also angry. This damned beast. Every time he opened his mouth, he wanted to make him his slave. He even wanted to eat his flesh. How hateful. Golden Dragon War Body, activate. Mysterious Dragon 9 Transformations, 5th Transformation. Titan Technique, activate. Jingshan Finger, 1 finger to frighten ghosts and gods. Yang Hongwu's strength erupted. He launched a lightning-fast attack. A terrifying finger force attacked Chiiba. Wind Fire Mountain Staff. Chiiba wasn't a weakling. He waved the heavy iron Ironwood staff in his hand. Wind and fire mixed within it. Shadows of mountains overlapped. It was as if the sky and earth were splitting apart. The powerful finger force collided with the staff. Boom! With a loud sound, the staff in Chiiba's hand was sent flying. His body was also pushed back and crashed into a huge rock. The rock was instantly shattered. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Yang Hanwu also took a few steps back. The strength of this red-eyed long-arm ape was indeed powerful. Such a terrifying force actually produced such a huge rebound force. How is it, little monkey? Have you seen the reality? Yang Hanwu chuckled. Let me tell you, little monkey. I still have a lot of trump cards that I haven't used yet. Damned human. If you want me to submit with just this, it's impossible. My strength is far from this. I was just careless. Chiiba still didn't admit defeat. His eyes flashed with red light. His aura rose again, and the staff in his hand was held tightly. Sky-filled Chi staff. Chiiba roared. He held the staff with both hands and his body expanded. He was like a giant ape fighting the heavens and earth. It was as if a hole was going to be poked in the sky. He waved the staff in his hand crazily. A terrifying aura gathered and formed a huge vortex. Heaven and earth were stirred up. Humph. Stubborn. Seeing this terrifying attack, Yang Hongwu's face turned solemn. However, he didn't put it in his eyes. True Dragon Armor, activate. The true dragon armor appeared. Divine dragons circled around his body. Yama's note appeared in his hand. Yellow Spring River, appear. The terrifying river water surged. That was the Yellow Spring River. Chapter 647. Old Ape Damned Human, what kind of treasure is this? It can actually summon so many skeleton generals. Chiiba waved his long staff crazily, crushing the skeleton generals one by one. However, the skeleton generals that flew out of Yang Hongwu's Yama's invitation seemed to be endless. There was no way to kill them all. Humph! Yang Hongwu snorted. He still had the Heaven Punishment Battle Diagram. A headless giant flew out from the Heaven Punishment Battle Diagram in his hand. This was the great shaman Xing Tian. His strength was extremely terrifying. It was just a shadow, not a real body. However, even if it was just a shadow, its combat strength was extremely terrifying. It was not something that Chiiba could withstand. The giant axe slashed the void, as if the heaven and earth were about to be split open. Damned human, you deserve to die. Chiiba shouted as he looked at the terrifying axe. This damned human, he actually has so many tricks up his sleeves. He's obviously not strong enough, but he has so many treasures and trump cards. It's too hateful. I'll kill you. A series of staff shadows enveloped the surroundings. However, how terrifying was the power of Xing Tian's axe? How could it be blocked so easily? Boom! Chiiba's staff was sent flying, his huge body was smashed into the ground. Yang Hongwu took a step forward and came to Chiiba's side. He stepped on Chiiba's face and said coldly, "Little monkey, do you understand the reality now? Who do you think you are? You're just a beast. I'm giving you face but you don't want it. Then, I'll kill you." After saying that, Yang Hongwu used the true dragon blade in his hand to cut off Chiiba's neck. Blood spurted out and a ray of light flew out from his body. Damned human, I won't let you go. That ray of light flew towards the distance. Yang Hongwu sneered, "You want to leave? It's not that easy." He stretched out his hand and condensed his dermic powers, forming a huge hand in the void. With a sudden grab, the light figure was caught in the palm of his hand. You want to escape? Humph, dream on. Yang Hongwu clenched his fist and instantly crushed the white light into bits of energy, which was absorbed by Yang Hongwu. Chiiba was an expert of the scarlet-eyed long-armed ape clan. His strength was second only to the Ape King, but he was easily killed by Yang Hongwu. At this moment, in the depths of the mountain, a robust old man suddenly opened his eyes. Yiba is dead. Who dares to kill Yiba? Although Chiiba was not the Ape King of the Red-Eyed Gibbon clan, he was the grandson of the old Ape Emperor of the Red-Eyed Gibbon clan. The current Ape King was Chiiba's uncle. Damn it, that little bastard is actually dead. Chi Leon was the Ape King of the Red-Eyed Gibbons, so he naturally knew that Chiiba was deeply loved by the old man. Now that Chiiba was dead, as the Ape King and his uncle, he was the prime suspect. That was because he wanted to protect his position as the Ape King, while Chiiba had always wanted to take his position by force. Damn it! He shouted a few times, and all the members of the Scarlet-Eyed Gibbon clan were mobilized, rushing towards Yang Hongwu's direction. Normally, the Scarlet-Eyed Gibbon clan lived in pairs, which was one husband and one wife. However, once something big happened, it was different. The entire clan would be mobilized. You're in trouble. At this moment, Yang Hongwu had just collected Chiiba's inner core, and of course, the heavy ironing would stick. Trouble? What trouble? Yang Hongwu was stunned. You're not talking about the other ape, are you? No, this ape doesn't have a partner yet. However, this ape seems to have a high status in the Scarlet-Eyed Gibbon clan. Although these Scarlet-Eyed Gibbon clan usually live in pairs, they will gather together if there's a situation. This Scarlet-Eyed Gibbon clan's bloodline is extraordinary. I'm afraid that there are many Scarlet-Eyed Gibbon clans chasing in your direction. No way? Yang Hongwu's face turned bitter. He didn't expect that such trouble would appear at this time. He could deal with them one by one. It was still not a problem, but if it was a clan with dozens, hundreds, or even more, it would be impossible for him to deal with them. This scarlet-eyed gibbon clan was definitely not to be trifled with. Swish. Swish. Yang Hanwu listened to the sound. He frowned and was furious. As expected. Mauer also gave Yang Hanwu a hint. There were many of them coming, and they were very fast. There was also an old man wearing tattered clothes. However, his eyes were very spirited and incomparably deep. Moreover, the other apes seemed to be afraid of him. Yang Hanwu didn't have time to escape at all and was already surrounded. Human, did you kill Yiba? The old man looked at Yang Hanwu and said coldly. This guy is also a scarlet-eyed gibbon, but he has completely transformed. It seems that he has a fortuitous encounter. At this time, Chiyu and Yang Hanwu communicated and explained, it's very likely that he has obtained the transformation grass. Generally speaking, if a scarlet-eyed gibbon wants to transform into a human, it has to cultivate to the Saint Realm at least. However, this guy has only cultivated to the first level of the Saint Realm, and he used a special method to suppress his cultivation. Otherwise, he would have already ascended to the Heaven Domain. First level of the Saint Realm, scarlet-eyed gibbon. Yang Hanwu took a deep breath. If it wasn't for Chiyu's reminder, Yang Hanwu would have thought that this guy was the one who raised these apes. I killed him. Yang Hanwu looked at the old man and said. Good, very good. Damned human, Yiba was the grandson I valued the most, and also the most outstanding grandson. He was an existence that had the chance to surpass me, yet you actually killed him. I'm going to tear you to pieces. The old man was furious. His long arms suddenly stretched out like a sharp steel claw. In a breath's time, it arrived in front of Yang Hanwu and grabbed at Yang Hongwu's head. If he was caught, he would probably be crushed. Yang Hongwu's face sank. This old monkey was too strong. If he wanted to deal with it, he would probably have to use the battle spirit possession. However, Yang Hanwu didn't want to use it so quickly. It would consume too much energy. It was better to let Luli do it. Yang Hanwu waved his hand and summoned Luli. A soft whip appeared in Luli's hand. With a wave of the seven-colored whip, it turned into a nimble little dragon. Whoosh! It wrapped around the old ape's arm and then swung it. The old ape was thrown out and hit a big tree. Kacha! With a sound, the tree was cut in half. After the old ape stopped, he looked at Luli with fear in his eyes. It was the pressure from the bloodline. It was the aura of a dragon, which made him very afraid. You're a dragon? The old ape looked at Luli and asked. Chapter 648. Barbarian Tribes. The old ape emperor's face darkened. This little girl was obviously from the Dragon Clan. Moreover, she was from the Dragon Clan. There was a Dragon Valley in the desolate mountain. There was a group of powerful Dragon Clan in the Dragon Valley. Each of them had terrifying strength. The Dragon King of the Dragon Clan was rumored to have reached the Saint Realm. Even though he did not know if it was true or not, or if it was just a legend, he was sure that the Dragon Valley did exist. The Dragon King was indeed extremely powerful and terrifying. He was the strongest force in the 10,000 mountains. Although there weren't many dragons in the Dragon Valley, none of the tribes could compete with it. It was the absolute overlord of the barbarian mountains. So what if you're a dragon? I advise you to leave. Don't make things difficult for me. Otherwise, I'll have to capture you too. The old ape said. Humph. Old thing, don't be so shameless. Otherwise, if my big brother explodes, your entire tribe will be annihilated. Surrender and work for my big brother. That's your best choice. Luli said loudly. You want me to submit? Dream on, human. I don't care if you're a dragon or not. Since you want to resist, I'll have to capture you first. With that, the Ape King attacked. He grabbed with his right hand and a long rod appeared in his hand. This iron rod was called the Mixed Iron Rod. It was a grade higher than the heavy iron wood. The staff in his hand was much more powerful than the ape and Chiba from before. The huge shadow of the rod seemed to be able to split the mountain. Boom! A loud sound was heard as the rod smashed towards Luli. Humph! Luli snorted and grabbed the air with his right hand. A 7-colored palm appeared and slapped towards the huge shadow of the rod. The two forces collided and instantly exploded, forming a huge vortex that rippled out in all directions like waves. The old ape was pushed back and Luli was also sent flying. Luli's strength was much weaker than the old ape's. Damned old monkey, you actually dared to injure me. You deserve to die 1,000 times over. Luli was furious. He was the reincarnation of an empress, but he couldn't even deal with a mere old monkey and was even injured. This made him lose face. Emperor technique, rainbow instant kill. Luli raised both of her hands, and her magic power condensed into rainbow-like clouds. These clouds were dazzling and beautiful, dazzling everyone's eyes. A terrifying light flashed past. This was an emperor technique. This was the Empress's emperor technique. It was terrifyingly powerful. How could an honorable realm cultivator withstand it? With Luli's cultivation in monarch arts, it was impossible for him to kill a martial highness. However, who was Luli? She was the reincarnation of the great empress, and her strength was boundless. Furthermore, she had obtained the great empress memories and techniques, which allowed her to perform emperor techniques with ease. The rainbow light pierced into the old ape's side. Single rod of Hunayan. The old ape was horrified as he felt the threat of death. He roared and his arms swelled up. His strength increased tremendously. The terrifying force blew away the soil and stones under his feet. The staff slammed down heavily on the 7-colored light. However, how could an emperor technique be blocked so easily? This rainbow-colored red light was like an indestructible sharp sword. Its power could destroy everything in the world that stood in its way. Swoosh! After the 7-colored light dispersed the huge stick shadow, it did not slow down and directly charged toward the old macaque's body. Boom! The old ape couldn't withstand it and was sent flying by the terrifying power. The power of the rainbow light rushed into the old ape's body and wreaked havoc. The old ape couldn't withstand it at all. How terrifying was the power of an emperor technique? Even though Luli couldn't exert all of his power, the old ape couldn't withstand it either. After all, it contained a trace of the true great emperor's power. After this attack, Luli was extremely weak. After all, she had consumed too much energy. She turned into a rainbow light and entered Yan Hongwu's body. Yan Hongwu quickly kept her in the immortal pagoda's space. Brother, I've consumed too much energy. I need to rest for a while. I don't think I can help you for a while. Luli fell into a deep sleep after saying that. Yan Hongwu came to the old ape and grabbed him. When the other apes saw that even the old ape king had been defeated, none of them dared to step forward. They were well aware of the old ape king's strength. Even if all of them worked together, they wouldn't be a match for the old ape king. Old ape, you can't be arrogant anymore. If you surrender to me now, you can still live. Yang Hanwu said coldly, otherwise, I'll kill you and refine your essence blood. I'll dig out your inner core and use it to cultivate or forge weapons. You, human, don't even think about making me surrender. Although that dragon injured me, she's not much better. Do you still have the ability to deal with us? The old gibbon sneered, although my red-eyed gibbons clan is not as strong as the dragon clan, we still have some ability in this savage mountain. It's useless for you to catch me. I'm already old and don't have much lifespan left. If our red-eyed gibbons clan can capture you and obtain the emperor technique, then our clan's strength will increase greatly. Qi Liang, kill them all. Don't worry about me and take the emperor technique. This is the opportunity for our red-eyed gibbons clan to rise. Once we obtain the emperor technique, our clan will be able to compete with the Herculean tiger clan. You want to attack? Do you really think that's all I have? Yan Hanwu sneered. With a wave of his hand, the Qiyu heavenly sorcerer soul appeared. A terrifying energy gathered. In addition to the Yama's note and the heaven punishment battle diagram, 3 terrifying energies locked onto the Ape King in Chi Leong. If you dare to attack, I'll exterminate your red-eyed Gibbons clan. Yang Hanwu said coldly, do you think that I don't have any trump cards to enter the barbaric mountain range? Seeing Yang Hongwu's terrifying trump card, Chi Leong immediately stopped and waved his hand, signaling his clansmen to retreat. The old ape's face turned ashen. It never thought that this human would be so terrifying. Chapter 649. Subdue all of them. What method do you have to increase the strength of our tribe? Are you an alchemist? Old ape sneered. That's right. Yang Hanwu said as he took out a few beast spirit pills. 7th grade beast spirit pills, perfect quality. The beast spirit pill was extremely attractive to savage beasts and savage beasts. It was much faster than cultivating, and the speed at which one could raise one's cultivation was astonishing. In the desolate 100,000 mountain range, all the races didn't know how to concoct pills. Even the human race and the sorcerer race didn't know how to concoct pills, not to mention the red-eyed long-armed apes. If they could concoct pills, their strength would increase tremendously. This is a spiritual beast pill, a 7th grade spiritual beast pill. Old ape screamed when he saw the pills in Yang Hongwu's hand. How is this possible? I've obtained a 6th grade spiritual beast pill before, but I've never seen a 7th grade spiritual beast pill before. Moreover, it's perfect quality. Once I consume it, it can change my aptitude and increase my lifespan. Submit to me or die. Yang Hanwu took the pills and said coldly. If I submit to you, will you give me an endless supply of pills? Old ape asked. Yes, but you have to sign a slave contract. Yang Hanwu said. No, that's impossible. Old ape shook his head. Once the slave contract was signed, the entire tribe would become his slaves. Their life and death would be under his control. How could he agree? If you don't agree, I'll exterminate your tribe. Yang Hanwu said coldly. There was no other choice. If they didn't agree, they would die. He would kill them all, devour their blood and refine their cores to increase his cultivation. Right now, Yang Hanwu needed a large amount of spiritual qi and a large amount of essence blood energy to raise his cultivation base. The 5th level of the Tao Foundation realm was still too weak. Compared to those real old antiques, he was still weaker. Therefore, he had to work harder to improve himself and become stronger. Only then would he be able to deal with those ancient existences and Zetian. Only then would he be able to suppress the great ancient devil in the Earth Spirit Palace, and even kill and refine it. The higher his cultivation, the more Yang Hanwu knew. He also understood that there were many ancient and powerful figures in the ancient domain that far exceeded his imagination. The 4 immortal mansions were not as simple as they seemed. There should be an independent space world in the depths of the 4 immortal mansions. Only in that independent space world were the real powerful existences. Even the emissaries of the divine realm might not be their opponents. It was just that he had hidden himself. This was something that Yang Hanwu could only vaguely sense. The emissary of the heavenly region was arrogant and domineering on the surface, and he could decide the life and death of the 4 holy lands. However, he didn't know that the foundation of the 4 holy lands was far more than what he had seen. The current Yang Hanwu couldn't even kill the emissary of the heavenly region, let alone those ancient existences in the 4 immortal mansions. Moreover, there were countless powerful races in the savage 100,000 mountain range. They all had their own small worlds. Who knew if there were any terrifying existences in those small worlds? Just like the Dragon Valley that the old ape had mentioned, there should also be a small world in the Dragon Valley. It was unknown what kind of powerful existences were in that small world. Otherwise, the old ape wouldn't be so afraid of them. At any rate, the old ape king's strength was equivalent to an Exalt realm expert when he went all out, yet even Luli was unable to kill him. This clearly showed how formidable he was. You're so ruthless. He watched as Yang Hanwu killed a genius of the scarlet-eyed gibbon race with a single grab. His flesh and blood were devoured, and even his soul couldn't escape. I agree, I agree. The old ape had no choice but to submit for the sake of the scarlet-eyed gibbon race. Moreover, the old ape had an idea. This human's cultivation was so terrifying, but he was still young. If he didn't fall, he would grow to an unimaginable level. When he grew, the scarlet-eyed gibbon race would also grow. For a race, it was a very glorious thing to become the slave of a super powerhouse. For example, a great emperor. If the scarlet-eyed gibbon race became a slave of a great emperor, countless people would be envious. This young man had the potential to become a great emperor. Very good. Yang Hongwu's lips curled into a smile as he nodded. Very good. A wise man submits to circumstances. In the future, you will feel incomparably honored for the choice you made today. With that, Yang Hongwu made all the members of the scarlet-eyed gibbon race sign a contract and become Yang Hongwu's slaves. He could control their life and death with a single thought. This was something that Yang Hongwu could only do after he had a breakthrough in his cultivation of the mind-refining sutra. It would have been impossible in the past. After taking control of the entire scarlet-eyed gibbon race, Yang Hongwu waved his hand and a large amount of elixirs flew out and landed in the old ape's hands. These are spiritual beast elixirs. They are very beneficial to you. Distribute them and let your people improve. Yes, Master. The old ape was overjoyed. The other members of the scarlet-eyed gibbon race were also very happy. Originally, they were unhappy about becoming Yang Hongwu's slaves. However, these supreme elixirs would allow them to improve greatly. This was something that they had always dreamed of. The scarlet-eyed gibbon race present were the most outstanding geniuses of their race. As for the rest, Yang Hongwu didn't care too much. Furthermore, these geniuses, as well as their ape king and old ape, had all become his slaves. There was no need for him to control the rest. After the elixirs were distributed, many of them couldn't wait to consume them. In an instant, their cultivation base underwent a huge change. One by one, they started to make breakthroughs. Even the aura of the old ape was constantly changing. His entire body seemed to become younger. After a while, the old ape refined the elixirs. Although his cultivation base didn't make a breakthrough, it only took a single thought. However, his lifespan had increased a lot. He was now more than 1,000 years old. The old ape, who originally didn't have much lifespan left, had gained so much lifespan. This was enough for his cultivation base to improve once again. Thank you, Master. This time, the old ape and the other scarlet-eyed gibbon race knelt down and thanked him sincerely. They had truly submitted to Yang Hongwu. Well, get up. This time, I'm looking for the sorcerer tribe's relic in the desolate 100,000 mountains. I'm looking for the ancestral sorcerer palace. Do you have any news? Yang Hongwu looked at the old ape and asked. Chapter 650. Golden Dragon, the Mountain of Death, huh? Yang Hongwu frowned slightly, looked at old ape, and asked, how much do you know about the Mountain of Death? How do I get there? The Mountain of Death is located in the depths of the Savage Mountains. Along the way, you'll have to pass through several races. Among them, the most powerful and terrifying race is the Earth Devil Human race. The Earth Devil Human race's strength is terrifying, and they specialize in assassination. It's impossible to guard against them. Old Ape said. Concealment assassination technique? Yang Hongwu didn't care about this. With Mao around, the delusion breaker, I could ignore their assassination techniques. Yes, the concealment and assassination techniques of the Earth Devil Human clan are basically unstoppable. You don't have to worry about that. Bring me to the Mountain of Death. Yang Hongwu didn't mind and said. No matter how dangerous it was, he had to make a trip there. He had to find the sorcerer tribe's secret realm. Yes, Master, the old ape replied. As they walked, Yang Hongwu asked again, you said before that there is a Dragon Valley here. Where is the Dragon Valley, and how strong is the Dragon King? The old ape was very wary of the Dragon Valley. The old ape wasn't weak, but he didn't want to clash with the dragons because the dragons were too powerful. The Dragon Valley. The Dragon Valley is extremely powerful. They are the overlords of the entire savage 100,000 mountain range. Even if all the other races worked together, they might not be a match for them. The old ape said with a hint of fear, "Master, although you are strong, you must not provoke the dragons. Also, that little girl should be a dragon. If the dragons know that you have such a dragon as your pet, they will definitely be displeased. Then, you will be in big trouble, and your life will be in danger." Dragons. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. I wonder how many dragons there are, and how strong are they? If he could subdue it, wouldn't his strength increase greatly? It was the Dragon Valley. If he could refine the Dragon Pearl, his 9 dragons' sacred body would be able to take another step forward. Not long after, a terrifying aura rushed in the direction of Yang Hongwu. It was the aura of dragons. Yang Hongwu felt it. As the 9 dragons' saint body, Yang Hongwu was very sensitive to the aura of dragons. "Master, this is bad. The dragons are here. They must have sensed the aura of that little girl." Old Ape's expression changed. He didn't want to provoke the dragons. Unexpectedly, the dragons still came. Compared to Old Ape's nervousness, Yang Hongwu wasn't worried at all. Dragons? So what if they were dragons? His constitution was strong enough to suppress dragons once it was unleashed. Of course, if there was a terrifying expert, it would be troublesome. For dragons, his sacred body could suppress dragons and prevent them from exerting their full strength. However, his 9 dragons' sacred body was a great temptation for dragons. If they could devour his bloodline, their bloodline would be improved and their strength would increase by leaps and bounds. Ancestral dragon bloodline, I can sense the ancestral dragon bloodline here. A golden dragon flew out and murmured, "He's nearby. I can feel his existence." In a flash, the dragons turned into a human figure and landed in front of Yang Hongwu and the others. "Old Ape. Ziwu Wang, it's you?" Old Ape's face darkened when he saw the newcomer. "Old Ape, who is this person?" Ziwu Wang's eyes flashed when he saw Yang Hongwu. There was no one else around. Only this human was not from this wild mountain. Then, the ancestral dragon chi just now was most likely released by him. "Ziwu Wang, it's none of your business who he is. Leave this place quickly. This is the territory of my red-eyed gibbon clan." Old Ape said coldly. Old Ape and Ziwu Wang were of the same generation, but Old Ape's strength and aptitude were far inferior to Ziwu Wang's. Even their status was different. Ziwu Wang had always looked down on Old Ape. Of course, Old Ape didn't have a good impression of Ziwu Wang. "Old Ape, how dare you talk to me like that? Aren't you afraid that I will destroy your entire red-eyed gibbon clan?" Ziwu Wang said coldly. "No matter who this human is, he must come with me today." "Ziwu Wang, you want to fight with me?" Old Ape's face darkened. What he was worried about had happened. He didn't expect Ziwu Wang to capture his master. It seemed that this battle was inevitable. However, his heart was heavy. He knew that there was a big gap between his strength and Ziwu Wang's. Moreover, if his master took action, he was confident that he could defeat this guy. However, if that happened, the dragons wouldn't let this matter go. Dragons had always been domineering in the wild mountain range. His master had so many treasures. If the dragons knew about it, they would definitely snatch them. If that happened, he would be in big trouble if he went up against the dragons. Thinking of this, Old Ape's face became gloomier and gloomier. He communicated with Yang Hongwu telepathically. "Master, this is troublesome. Ziwu Wang is a golden dragon. He has a high status among the dragons. His strength is above mine." "Don't worry," Yang Hongwu said. "Although this guy's strength is good, I can suppress him." This guy's strength was above Old Ape. It was impossible to let him leave easily. Since he couldn't leave easily, he could only keep him here. It might be a good choice to make him his slave. If he didn't know what was good for him, he would refine him. Luli had just consumed a lot of energy. If he could refine a golden dragon, The power of his bloodline would not only restore Lu Li's strength, but also bring him to the next level. Let's fight then. Old ape, you're just a defeated opponent. Your strength is far inferior to mine. After saying that, Ziwu Huang stretched out his right hand, which transformed into a gigantic dragon claw. It tore through the void and clawed at the old ape. The space was torn apart as a terrifying dragon force condensed. It was incomparably sharp and unstoppable. Rip! The terrifying aura made old ape solemn. He waved the iron rod in his hand. Single rod of chaos. With a roar, the huge rod smashed out. The huge shadow condensed a supreme will, as if it was going to smash the world. The huge rod shadow collided with the dragon claw, producing a sound of metal clashing. As the force shot out, the trees in the surroundings were all crushed into powder. The terrifying force caused the weaker creatures to suffer an unexpected calamity. Who knew how many weaker creatures were killed by this attack? Old ape was pushed back dozens of feet by the terrifying force, while Ziwu Huang only took 3 steps back. The difference was obvious. Chapter 651. True Dragon Verdict. Old ape was no match for him at all. His face was gloomy. However, he couldn't hand over his master. He said angrily, "Impossible, Ziwu Huang, don't go too far. Old ape, stand down." Yang Hanwu waved his hand. He could see that this golden dragon was much stronger than Old ape. Old ape was far from being his opponent. "Yes, master." Old ape said respectfully, "Master, you have to be careful. This old loach is very strong. He's not easy to deal with." "Master, haha, old ape, you've actually become the slave of this weak human?" Ziwu Huang laughed loudly. In his opinion, it was really shameful to become the slave of such a weak human. "You little loach, you're very arrogant." Yang Hanwu looked at him and said, "I advise you to leave. Otherwise, you'll end up very miserably." "Loach, damn human. How dare you call me a loach?" Ziwu Huang was infuriated. He could accept Old ape calling him a loach. After all, he and the Old ape were sworn enemies. Although the Old ape was weaker than him, if Old ape went all out, he would still be afraid. But this human in front of him, a 5th-level Dao pedestal realm human, as weak as an ant, actually dared to call him a loach? "I'm going to swallow you alive." Ziwu Huang's eyes flashed fiercely. His right hand turned into a sharp dragon claw that tore through the air and grabbed at Yang Hanwu. 9 Dragon Saint Body, Dragon Suppression. Yang Hanwu shouted and activated his saint body. Divine dragons appeared one after another, circling around Yang Hanwu. Both of his hands formed mysterious and profound runes. These runes fused together and formed a terrifying dragon's aura that crushed towards Ziwu Huang. Dragon's aura, this was the aura of a divine dragon. It had a huge suppression on dragons. Ziwu Huang was a dragon and his bloodline was considered noble. However, compared to Yang Hanwu's 9 Dragon Saint Body, one was heaven and the other was earth. After Yang Hanwu's cultivation reached the Dao pedestal realm, his dragon soul had also improved. He had comprehended the secret technique of Dragon's Aura, and this was the first time he used it. Dragon Saint Body, Dragon Suppression, Dragon Suppression. Although Ziwu Huang was powerful, in the face of this terrifying dragon aura and bloodline suppression, he could not display his strength at all. Jingshan Finger, frightening ghosts and gods with a finger. At this moment, Yang Hanwu. The terrifying power condensed into a finger. This finger was like the finger of an ancient almighty, shocking the heavens and earth and making ghosts and gods weep. It was filled with the mysterious power of ancient times. It was unfathomable and difficult to resist. Bang! The huge finger collided with Ziwu Huang's dragon claw. The powerful force made Ziwu Huang feel that the web between his thumb and index finger on his right hand was cracked. He shouted, "Dragon's might, how is this possible? Such a terrifying dragon's might. You have the bloodline of a true dragon in your body, the power of the ancestral dragon. It's definitely the power of the ancestral dragon." It's even nobler than the Dragon King's bloodline. This is absolutely impossible. You're just a weak human. How can you have such a terrifying dragon's might and such a noble bloodline of dragons? Ziwu Huang, who was pushed back, was shocked. It's good that you know. Little Loach, surrender. Pledge allegiance to me and become my slave. Battle Beast, I can help you level up and improve your bloodline. You can become a real high-level dragon. You can even ascend to the heaven realm and become a supreme venerable dragon, a great sage dragon. Yan Hanwu said. With the help of the dragon soul, he activated the mind-refining Heart Sutra. Dragon's might was contained in his words. He used the power of his bloodline to attack Ziwu Huang and make him submit. So what if you have the bloodline of the ancestral dragon in your body? Ziwu Huang snorted and laughed wildly. You're too weak. Although you can suppress me, you're definitely not my opponent. I'm going to devour your bloodline to improve myself and make a breakthrough. At that time, my bloodline will be nobler than the Dragon King's and I'll become a true ancestral dragon. All dragons will be under my control and I'll be the Supreme Dragon Emperor. Ziwu Huang's performance was within Yang Hongwu's expectations. Dragons were also greedy. In order to improve their strength, they had great ambitions. No one could resist this temptation. The Dragon Clan had a strict hierarchy. Their bloodline prestige was terrifying. However, when the difference in strength was too great, the lower-level Dragon Clan would have thoughts of treachery. Therefore, Ziwu Huang wanted to seize Yang Hongwu's bloodline and devour it to improve his own bloodline. This was very normal. If Yang Hongwu was a true dragon, perhaps he would be afraid. However, Yang Hongwu was a human with the bloodline of dragons. It was different. Once he devoured Yang Hongwu's bloodline and improved himself, he could become the Dragon Emperor of Dragons. This was a huge temptation to him. There was no way he could resist. Naive. Do you think I don't have the confidence to show the power of my bloodline? If I didn't have any strength, how could I have become the Ape King's master? How could I have subdued the entire red-eyed long-armed apes? Yang Hongwu coldly snorted. He activated the True Dragon armor and held the True Dragon blade in his hand. Profound Dragon's 9 transformations, 6th transformation. Titan Art, activate. Yang Hongwu had activated the 6th transformation of the Profound Dragon 9 transformations. His strength had soared and he could erupt with even more power. True Dragon Blade, True Dragon Judgment. Yi Xuan waved the True Dragon Blade in his hand, and a golden light appeared, forming a terrifying huge blade. This terrifying huge blade wasn't an ordinary blade, but the blade of judgment of the dragon race. It was specially used to carry out the punishment of the dragon race. The blade of punishment had a terrifying lethality against the dragon race. This gigantic blade slashed out at Ziwu Huang. That unparalleled power locked onto Ziwu Huang completely. When Ziwu Huang saw this terrifying blade, he was completely frightened. Like a bullied woman, he screamed, "How is this possible? Blade of Judgment, how can you summon such a terrifying thing? You're a human. How can you master the supreme Blade of Judgment of dragons? Even Dragon Kings don't have such a secret technique." Ziwu Huang looked as if he had seen a ghost. He was filled with great fear. All the dragons were terrified in the face of this Blade of Judgment. The Blade of Judgment of dragons had a terrifying killing power against all dragons. There was no way to dodge it. Coupled with Yang Hongwu's 9 dragons' divine body and bloodline suppression, Ziwu Huang couldn't move at all. He could only watch as the terrifying Blade of Judgment slashed towards him. In the next moment, his head would be chopped off. Chapter 652. Earth Demon Mountain. Why can't I kill him? What am I afraid of? Yang Hongwu sneered. Ignoring his cries, he slashed down with the True Dragon Blade. In the next moment, a huge head flew out. Blood splattered everywhere. Ziwu Huang turned into a huge golden dragon and his head rolled dozens of feet away. The old ape was dumbfounded. This master was too domineering and cruel. A genius of the Golden Dragon tribe was killed by him with a single slash, and his head was cut off. Dragon soul, devour the heavens. Yang Hongwu's dragon soul flew out and devoured Ziwu Huang's dragon soul, leaving him no chance at all. As for the dragon corpse, Yang Hanwu also refined a part of it. Yang Hanwu gave the other part to Lu Li. After all, Lu Li had consumed a lot of energy before. With this part of the dragon force, he recovered a lot and showed signs of a breakthrough. Master, don't worry. Yang Hanwu shook his head. It's just a golden dragon. Don't worry about it. For Yang Hanwu, killing a golden dragon was nothing. Even if he wiped out the entire golden dragon clan, it was nothing. If he wanted to improve his strength, he would need a lot of resources. Now, just by killing this golden dragon, he was already showing signs of a breakthrough. If he were to kill a few more, it would be easy for him to break through. But, Master, Ziwu Huang is a genius of the Golden Dragon clan. He's someone the Golden Dragon clan heavily nurtured. Now that he's been killed, the Dragon clan must know about it. I'm afraid they're already rushing here. The old ape king said, we have to leave this place quickly. Yang Hanwu nodded. If it was one or two dragons, he was confident in dealing with them. But if it was a group, it was a different story. It was impossible for him to deal with them. Let's go. Now that he had killed the dragons and obtained the benefits, Yang Hanwu didn't have the time to check Ziwu Huang's storage ring for now. He had to leave this place first before the dragons caught up to him. Dragon Valley. Golden Dragon Clan. An old man suddenly opened his eyes. Then, he flew into a rage and punched out. The stone door was smashed into pieces. Huang is dead. Who is so bold to kill a genius of our clan? Patriarch, what happened? A guard was shocked to see the patriarch so angry and asked softly. Go, call all the elders here, Zihuanyu said. Yes, Patriarch. After a while, all the elders of the Golden Dragon clan were present. Patriarch, why are you in such a hurry to call us over? Could it be that something has happened? An elder asked. My son Ziwu Huang was killed, Zihuanyu said coldly. What? Who was it? Who dares to kill the young patriarch? All the elders were furious. Daring to kill the young patriarch of the Golden Dragon clan was definitely a provocation to the entire Golden Dragon clan. In the Dragon Valley, the Golden Dragon clan was ranked second among the dragons, second only to the royal family. The young patriarch of the Golden Dragons, Ziwu Huang, was the most outstanding genius of the Golden Dragons. His strength was so strong that even some old antiques might not be able to kill him. But now, he was killed. It must be premeditated and planned. If it wasn't for a scheme or a trap, how could he be killed? Could it be a scheme by the royal family? An elder whispered. It's possible. Back then, Huang crippled Wang Yong. It's not impossible for the Dragon Emperor to do such a thing because of his hatred. Another elder nodded. Whether it's the Dragon Emperor or not, this matter must be investigated clearly. How dare he kill my son? I must let him die without a burial place. Zihuanyu snorted coldly, killing intent flashing in his eyes. At this time, Yang Hanwu, who had killed Ziwu Huang, had already escaped and came to the edge of a mountain. This mountain was shrouded in dense mist, like a celestial mountain. However, this celestial mountain had a strange aura, faintly carrying a murderous demonic aura. Master, this is the only way to the Death Mountain, the Earth Demon Mountain. This Earth Demon Mountain is where the Earth Demon Human clan is located. Old Ape said. Earth Demon Mountain, Earth Demon Human clan. Yang Hanwu narrowed his eyes and looked at the mountain in front of him. Their journey was quite smooth. The other clans did not notice their whereabouts at all and easily came here. However, Yang Hanwu knew that the other clans were more or less giving face to the old ape. But this was the Earth Demon Human clan, they would not put the old ape in their eyes. Let me see how strong the Earth Demon Human clan is. Yang Hanwu snorted lightly and took a step forward, walking towards the Earth Demon Mountain. This earth demon poisonous miasma was in the periphery of the earth demon mountain. This miasma could evoke the inner demons of a cultivator, causing them to lose their mind and fall into the demonic path. Master, this miasma can evoke the inner demons of a cultivator and confuse their mind. If their will is not strong enough, they will very likely fall into the demonic path. It's very dangerous. Old Ape said, therefore, even the dragons do not dare to enter this place easily. It's fine. This is an antidote pill. Take it. Yan Hanwu took out an antidote pill and handed it to Old Ape. Old Ape nodded and swallowed it. For Yan Hanwu, this miasma had no effect on him. After taking the antidote pill, Old Ape immediately felt refreshed and his spirit was refreshed. He knew that this antidote pill was definitely not ordinary. He quickly said, "Thank you, Master. Let's go." After entering the miasma, Yan Hanwu realized that the miasma here could not be underestimated. This made Yan Hanwu very surprised. If he collected it, he could refine the heart demon miasma powder. This powder could evoke a warrior's heart demon and could be used as a large-scale attack. Since he might encounter danger in the Death Mountain, why not collect some of this miasma and refine it into miasma powder? It was also a trump card. If the Golden Dragon clan chased after him, he could use it to deal with them. As Yan Hanwu thought of this, he began to collect the miasma. With a flip of his palm, an item appeared. It was a spirit-gathering gourd. This spirit-gathering gourd could collect liquids, gases, etc. It was best used to collect the miasma. Chapter 653. Miasma barrier. Collecting this miasma is naturally useful. If we encounter an enemy or a large group of enemies, this thing will be of great use, Yan Hanwu said. The Old Ape King wasn't a fool. With his cultivation at such a level, his intelligence wasn't weak. He understood what Yan Hanwu was trying to say. This thing was a scourge, but it was also a sharp weapon. If they encountered a large group of enemies, releasing this miasma would definitely catch them off guard. Of course, it was useless against the Earth Demon Clan. The reason why the Earth Demon Clan could live here was that they were immune to the miasma. The miasma had become a natural barrier of the Earth Demon Mountain, protecting them. It was much more powerful than those great arrays. Along the way, he collected the miasma. The spirit-gathering gourd was very big. The miasma was continuously absorbed into it. The Old Ape King was dumbfounded. If Master absorbed all of the miasma here, wouldn't the Earth Demon humans lose their barrier? In that case, wouldn't the Earth Demon clansmen face a calamity of annihilation? One must know that the Earth Devil human clan was incomparably tyrannical in the wild mountains. They had offended countless enemies. Therefore, once an accident happened to the Earth Devil human clan, countless enemies would definitely hit them when they were down. Perhaps, the entire Earth Devil human clan would be annihilated. However, this was also a good advantage for the Scarlet-Eyed Gibbon clan. In the past, the Earth Devil clan had dealt with the Scarlet-Eyed Gibbon clan. Of course, the Earth Demon clan wasn't without friends. The Earth Devil human clan had a powerful ally called the Bloodthirsty Devil human clan. The Bloodthirsty Devil human clan was one of the most notorious clans in the savage 100,000 mountain range. They were even worse than the Earth Devil human clan. These two clans were the targets of various clans in the barbaric mountains. However, the Bloodthirsty Demon clan was more powerful than the Earth Demon clan. They were more difficult to deal with. The Bloodthirsty Devil tribe was very strange. They existed in human form during the day, and at night, they could transform into bats and absorb the blood of other creatures. The more powerful the Bloodthirsty Devil tribe, the more blood they needed, and the stronger the target they needed to absorb. Their speed was very fast. Ordinary people couldn't stop them at all. Their terrifying speed could even be said to come and go without a trace. Therefore, if one didn't have enough strength, it would be very dangerous to move around in the Bloodthirsty Demon clan's territory. Compared to the Bloodthirsty Demon clan, the Earth Demon clan was less dangerous. Of course, although the Earth Demon clan was filled with danger, there were still many people who came here. Because there was a huge spirit vein in the Earth Demon Mountain, the spirit energy here was very abundant. Therefore, there were countless precious herbs in the Earth Demon Mountain. The reason why the Earth Devil Human clan was so powerful was because of this huge benefit, a huge advantage. The miasma here seems to be endless. Yang Hanwu was astonished when he saw that his soul-gathering gourd was almost full. It had to be known that his soul-gathering gourd had a lot of space. The soul-gathering gourd was like a huge whirlpool that sucked in all the surrounding miasma. After absorbing the miasma for close to half an hour, the soul-gathering gourd was unexpectedly full. The miasma didn't seem to thin at all. Yang Hanwu reckoned that there should be a source of the miasma in the Earth Demon Mountain. The source of the miasma was probably an incredible treasure. Of course, this treasure was a treasure that released the miasma and poison. It should be similar to the 10,000 poison pearl that Yang Hanwu had obtained. The 10,000 poison pearl had terrifying toxins that could also detoxify. The item that released the miasma should be similar. If he could find this item, he would be able to set up a powerful defensive array. Once it was set up, it would be much stronger than the Earth Demon Mountain. Of course, Yang Hanwu didn't know the secrets of the Earth Demon Mountain. He also didn't know that there was a powerful spiritual vein in the Earth Demon Mountain. If he had known, he would have done everything he could to obtain the Earth Demon Mountain. Master, there are times when the miasma in the Earth Demon Mountain will thin out, Old Ape said when he heard this. Well, you said that there are times when the miasma will thin out. Is there a pattern? Yang Hanwu hurriedly asked, when will it thin out? If he could find a pattern, he might be able to find the source of the miasma and obtain the treasure at the source of the miasma. I haven't studied this before. Old Ape shook his head and said, there will be times when the miasma is thin every year, but the timing is uncertain. No. This made Yang Hanwu quite disappointed. However, if the secret of the miasma was so easy to find out, the Earth Demon Mountain wouldn't be a secret anymore. Forget it. Yang Hanwu said, I hope we won't encounter any trouble on the Earth Demon Mountain. If they encountered a powerful Earth Demon clan member, it would be troublesome. Of course, if it was an ordinary Earth Demon clan member, Yang Hanwu wouldn't be worried. He only needed to suppress and kill them. If it was a powerful Earth Demon clan member, he wouldn't be able to suppress them silently. It would attract other Earth Demon clan members, and a great battle would ensue. Not long after, Yang Hanwu received Mao's warning. He had been exposed. Thus, Yang Hanwu stopped and said to Old Ape, be careful, we've been exposed. Master, how did you know? You don't need to understand how I know. Yang Hanwu snorted. This Old Ape, he had to ask about everything. He wasn't a good slave. Hearing Yang Hanwu's words, Old Ape's heart skipped a beat. He knew he had said something wrong. As a member of the red-eyed long-horned ape clan, Old Ape had a supreme status. Now that he had become Yang Hanwu's slave, his status had changed too quickly. He couldn't adapt to it. As a slave, he absolutely couldn't question his master's decision. Of course, he couldn't ask what he shouldn't ask. I'm sorry, Master. I know I was wrong. I won't do it again. Although Old Ape was depressed, he couldn't say it out loud. He couldn't be dissatisfied with Yang Hanwu because he could take his life in one move. His life was in Yang Hanwu's hands. Yang Hanwu nodded with satisfaction, now get ready. I want to see how strong these so-called Earth Demon Clan members are. Yang Hanwu's killing intent flickered as he said that. Since he had to deal with the Earth Demon Clan, he could only kill them. If these Earth Demon Clan members were really as cruel and disgusting as the rumors said, then they should be exterminated. Chapter 654. Demon Hunter Bloodline. It's actually a human. Also, isn't that the Scarlet Firmament Rod? A few Earth Demonic Human Clan members appeared. The leader of the Earth Demonic Human Clan looked at Yang Hanwu and the Old Ape King. Master, this guy is an elder of the Earth Demons. He's called by Yuan. The Old Ape transmitted his voice to Yang Hanwu. He's very powerful. He's even stronger than I am now. He can fight against Ziwu Huang. Yang Hanwu nodded, indicating that he understood. To be able to fight Ziwu Huang was a testament to his strength. This was a little troublesome. Ziwu Huang was a dragon, and Yang Hongwu's bloodline suppressed that of dragons. However, this guy didn't have the blood of dragons in him. On the contrary, he had the blood of the demon race running through his veins. That was why they were called earth demons. It's been a long time since I've eaten a human, and such a young genius at that. TSK. Bai Yuan narrowed his eyes at Yang Hongwu. The earth demonic human clan was actually similar to humans. The most important difference was their skin and feet. The earth devil human clan had black skin, and there were demonic runes on it. Their feet were larger than the average humans, and only 2 of their toes were forked. This was a characteristic of earth demons. Earth demons were one of the most powerful of the demon race. They had once been the main force in the invasion of Jyotian and Shidi. You want to eat me? Yang Hongwu's face darkened. Do you have what it takes? After saying that, Yang Hongwu unreservedly burst out his strength. He actually wanted to eat him. This was something that Yang Hongwu could not tolerate. Demon's Lair Finger. Yang Hongwu gathered his energy and unleashed the Demon's Lair Finger. Golden light shot out from the Demon's Lair Finger, pushing back the demonic energy wherever it touched. The Demon's Lair Finger had a terrible effect on those with demonic blood. Clearly, Bai Yuan and the others all possessed the demon clan's bloodline. The stronger they were, the stronger their demon clan's bloodline would be, and the greater the suppression they would face. The target of Yang Hongwu's finger was the sinusitis. In the blink of an eye, the golden finger was right in front of Bai Yuan. What a terrifying power! I can feel the suppression. This golden light is so annoying. Damn it, is this Buddhist energy? I hate it. This human is frightening. Could he be one of those legendary demon hunters? One of the earth fiends exclaimed. Demon hunters had the legendary constitution of war, one that had a terrifying suppressive effect on the demon's bloodline. Their destructive power to the fiend race was 10 times, even 100 times more than ordinary martial artists. It could weaken the power of the devil race. The suppression of the devil race was very strong. They could surpass their level and kill the devil race. For example, a first-stage Dao pedestal demon hunter could easily kill a peak Dao pedestal demon. However, demon hunters were few and far between. Out of 1 million humans there might not even be one demon hunter. Demon hunters weren't unique like Yang Hongwu's 9 dragons saint body, but they were still very rare. However, every time the demons invaded and calamity struck, a demon hunter's constitution was bound to appear. But there was only one sacred body for demon hunters. Demon hunters trained in demon slaying techniques that were specifically designed to deal with demons. Demon hunters. Damn it, this human can't really have a demon hunter's constitution, can he? Bai Yuan's face was grim. He could feel the stench of death from that terrifying finger. A Dao pedestal warrior like him, who could fight a second-stage paragon, felt like his life was in danger. He felt like there was no way he could fight back. It made him suspect that Yang Hongwu was a demon hunter, and a very powerful one at that. Only a demon hunter could suppress the demon's bloodline in such a way. It was a fear that came from the depths of his bones, from the depths of his soul. It was very similar to the feeling he'd read about in the ancient texts. He guessed that this human must have a demon hunter's constitution. Bai Yuan's eyes flashed with a cold light. Kill him. He had to kill him. If he killed this demon hunter and took his constitution, he could extract his demon hunter blood and refine it. Once he absorbed it, he would become a demon hunter immune. That way he wouldn't have to worry about the threat of demon hunters. On the contrary, he would be the bane of demon hunters. In this way, his status in the clan would be greatly improved. Even when the demon race invaded, he would be able to obtain a huge reward and even become a true Earth Demon race member. Moreover, he would be a powerful commander of the Earth Demon race with a high status and control over millions of Earth Demons. Everyone, together. Kill him! Bai Yuan roared. He was the first to draw his weapon, an enormous spiked club. It was crimson red, as though it had been stained with blood. It was forged from countless bones, and it was filled with a murderous aura. Wraiths and vengeful spirits appeared one after another. Their screams were unsettling. If it had been anyone else, the morning's spiked club would have had a great effect on them. But for Yang Hanwu it didn't affect him at all. Even if it did, it was minimal. Yang Hanwu had trained in the spiritualist scripture and had undergone countless trials. He also had the ring of the true dragon, which could drive away inner demons and calm his mind. In addition, Yang Hanwu had also trained in Buddhist techniques. Buddhist techniques had a suppressive effect on wraiths and vengeful spirits. Most importantly, Yang Hanwu had the arcane Tower of Pagoda. It was a priceless treasure, and when it was activated it was impervious to all evil. The power of the demon-killing finger collided with the huge morning wolf tooth club. Golden light burst out like rain, sprinkling in all directions. Those earth demonic human clansmen who were stained by the golden raindrops suddenly let out miserable shrieks. When the raindrops fell on their bodies, they seemed to be corroded by terrifying venom, producing sizzling sounds. Bai Yuan was incomparably gloomy. "Damned human, you must die." The morning spiked club in his hand grew bigger. He slammed it down, and a terrifying power gathered once again. A tall devil appeared. It was the god of the Earth Demon clan, the Earth Demon God. The Earth Demon God's shadow was a supreme existence. He was one of the supreme experts of the demon clan. His strength was comparable to a great emperor, and he was even stronger than an average great emperor. There were only a handful of people who could contend against him. Chapter 655. The Terrified Demon King Battle Spirit Possession. There was no other way. If he didn't use the battle spirit possession to increase his cultivation base, he wouldn't be a match for the Demon King. The moment he used the battle spirit possession, Yang Hongwu's cultivation base suddenly broke through to the venerable realm. Thousand Buddha Ruler. Buddhist cultivation technique in demon slaying finger had an amazing effect on those who had the demon race's bloodline. Therefore, Yang Hanwu didn't hesitate to use the Thousand Buddha Ruler. A huge Buddha ruler, Buddhas, Arhats, all of them appeared. Buddhist chants filled the surroundings and a powerful Buddhist light shone. While using the Thousand Buddha ruler, Yang Hanwu also used the demon-slaying finger. This time, the power of the demon-slaying finger was incomparable to the previous one. With Yang Hanwu using the battle spirit possession, his strength was equivalent to the venerable realm. Once he used the demon-slaying finger, it was earth-shattering. The huge golden finger was filled with terrifying pressure. It made the blood of Bai Yuan and the others boil as if they were going to evaporate. Those weak earth devil human clansmen, under this terrifying power, exploded out of their bodies. Bloody holes appeared on their bodies and disappeared into the air. At this moment, the golden finger collided with Bai Yuan's huge mace. Boom! A loud sound was heard, as if a huge atomic bomb had exploded. The terrifying power rippled out, as if a huge stone had been thrown into the calm sea, setting off stormy waves, as if a terrifying tsunami had occurred. This terrifying power destroyed everything in its path. Damn it! Bai Yuan spat out a mouthful of blood when he saw that his mace had been shattered. That terrifying power continued to rush towards him. At this moment, he simply had no way of resisting this terrifying power. He did not have the strength to withstand this terrifying impact. He could only watch helplessly as the golden light, which resembled an ancient giant beast, swept towards him. The smoke and dust dispersed. In front of Yang Hanwu, there was a huge ground that looked like Luli's. Everything had been destroyed. The Earth Devil human race had been annihilated by this terrifying power. They had died thoroughly, without leaving behind even a speck of dust. Seeing this terrifying attack, Old Ape was dumbfounded. He rejoiced in his heart. If he hadn't surrendered and fought to the death with his master, the entire scarlet-eyed long-armed ape tribe would have been wiped out by this terrifying power. His master was a genius among geniuses, a monster among monsters. His strength was too terrifying, too powerful. Those of the same generation as him and at the same cultivation level were far from being his match. It was like the difference between heaven and earth, 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 the difference between cloud and mud. In fact, even geniuses who were older than him and had higher cultivation bases than him couldn't compare to him. Who in the Tao pedestal realm could erupt with the terrifying cultivation of an honorable realm expert? Who in the Tao pedestal realm could erupt with such terrifying power that could destroy the heavens and extinguish the earth? Nothing, absolutely nothing? There had never been a Tao pedestal realm cultivator who could unleash such a terrifying attack. If his master's cultivation base really rose to the honorable realm, then how terrifying would his strength be? At that time, even a saint or even a supreme saint would not be a match for him. In fact, Yang Hongwu was also shocked by his own terrifying power. Who would have thought that his all-out attack would be able to obliterate this piece of land, Bai Yuan, and the rest of the people in the area? What a terrifying power! Who is this person? In the depths of the Earth Devil Mountain, a powerful existence discovered such a terrifying attack and was extremely shocked. He was the strongest person in the Earth Devil human race, the Demon King. The Demon King's strength was extremely terrifying. He could deal with 10 geniuses like Bai Yuan. However, he also knew that it was impossible for him to erupt with such terrifying power unless he chose to give up his life and self-destruct to unleash such a terrifying attack. However, why would he choose to self-destruct? It was absolutely impossible. He would only choose to self-destruct as a last resort, when there was no way out and he was bound to die. His demonic thoughts moved, and an enormous amount of mental power enveloped the entire Earth Devil Mountain. He saw Yang Hongwu. This shocked him. He was so young, but his cultivation base was so strong. It seemed that the attack just now didn't consume much of his energy. This made the Demon King very wary. He hid in the dark and didn't show himself. Actually, to Yang Hongwu, that powerful attack from earlier had also caused him to be injured. After all, he had consumed a lot of his energy, and the terrifying impact of the Qi energy was not light. The reason why Yang Hongwu stood there and looked so calm was because he knew that the terrifying impact of the energy would definitely attract the attention of the Earth Devil human race experts. Moreover, Bauer had already told him that he had been targeted by a very powerful existence in the Earth Devil human race. That person was the Demon King. Come out. At this moment, Yang Hongwu was already an arrow at the end of its flight, but he still looked calm and at ease. He said, "Don't hide anymore. No one can hide from my heavenly Dharma eye. You should be the human king of the Earth Devil human race, right? There's no point in hiding. If you don't come out, I will kill you and destroy the entire Earth Devil human race." Yang Hongwu's words made the Demon King's heart skip a beat. This damned human, he had actually discovered him? How could this be? His concealment technique was so powerful, and this was only a strand of his demonic thoughts. Even a human race supreme saint might not be able to discover him. How could this human see his existence? He must be lying to him, trying to trick him out. The Demon King thought so, but he didn't move at all. "Humph, you really don't want to come out?" Yang Hongwu said coldly. "If you don't come out, I will kill you." As he spoke, a frightening amount of energy gathered. The aura of the Demon Slayer finger appeared, and Yang Hongwu's right hand began to glow with a golden light. It was the same aura as the explosion from before. This aura was vast and radiant, but it carried with it the power of destruction. What was more, it was a threat to the Demon King. A threat to his very soul. This made him fearful, very fearful. How can this be? Why am I so afraid? Could it be that this human has demon hunter blood in his veins? The Demon King's heart was filled with terror. If he really did have demon hunter blood, and if he was this strong, could he really kill him? Could he really wipe out the entire Earth Devil Mountain? Flee? Chapter 656. 1,000,000 supreme-grade spirit stones. The Demon King walked out. He was afraid that he would be obliterated, so he walked out. What he didn't know was that Yang Hanwu didn't have the ability to use such a terrifying attack again. He was just trying to scare him. However, the Demon King didn't know that. He didn't dare to risk his own life. He's the Demon King. When the old Ape King saw who it was, he immediately shuddered. This was the famous Earth Devil Human King. Of course, this reputation was not a good one, but a very bad one. Yang Hanwu didn't expect this guy to really come out. He thought that he would be scared away. This made Yang Hanwu a little worried. However, Yang Hanwu wouldn't show it on his face. He looked at the Demon King and said, "You've got guts. You're hiding there. Are you trying to sneak attack me? I hate people who hide the most. I'll give you a chance to live. As long as you have enough spirit stones, I'll spare your life." Spare my life? Do you have the qualifications? The Demon King said coldly, "You killed Bai Yuan, but do you think you can kill me with your strength? You must have used up a lot of energy just now, right? You still have the ability to use that attack? You can try." Yang Hanwu snorted. A terrifying energy condensed in his hand. That was the power of the demon-killing finger. Looking at the terrifying energy condensed in Yang Hanwu's hand, the Demon King snorted. He really didn't dare to try. Although he guessed that Yang Hanwu had used up a lot of energy just now and didn't have the energy to use a second attack, he still didn't dare to take the risk. What if he really could use a second attack? "How many spirit stones do you want?" The Demon King compromised. "Not much. I don't want much. 1,000,000 supreme grade spirit stones will be enough." Yang Hanwu said. "You? Why don't you just rob?" The Demon King was incomparably furious. 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones, and these were top-grade spirit stones, not low-grade spirit stones. Even if there was a high-grade spirit vein in the Earth Demon Mountain that could produce a lot of spirit stones, and there was no lack of top-grade spirit stones among them, the Earth Demon Human clan had only accumulated a little more than 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones after so many years. This guy actually opened his mouth and asked for 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones. How could the Demon King not be enraged? "Rob?" Yang Hanwu laughed as if he was looking at an idiot. He looked at the Demon King and said, "Then what do you think I'm doing right now?" "You, 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones? That's impossible. Even if my entire Earth Devil clan was wiped out, we wouldn't have that much." The Demon King said, "At most, 100,000 low-grade spirit stones." When Yang Hanwu heard this, his face sank and he said, 100,000 low-grade spirit stones is too little. "Do you think I'm a beggar? 100,000 low-grade spirit stones and 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones, that was the difference between heaven and earth." Of course, Yang Hanwu didn't have many spirit stones. Even 100,000 low-grade spirit stones was a huge amount for Yang Hanwu. "If I say 1,000,000, then it's 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones. If you don't agree, I can still get it by killing you." Yang Hanwu said coldly. "No, 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones. No, 1,000,000 mid-grade spirit stones, that's my limit. Any more and you can just kill me." Although there were more than 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones, the Demon King still didn't let go. Those were the foundation of the Earth Devil Human clan. With these spirit stones, the Earth Devil Human clan would be able to rise quickly, and they would be able to survive and even rise in the upcoming Great Calamity. "Since you choose to die, then I'll fulfill your wish." After saying that, Yang Hanwu condensed the power of the demon-killing finger in his right hand, and the terrifying finger force was about to touch the Demon King's forehead. The Earth Devil Human King jumped in fright. This fellow was really going to make a move on him, really kill him. He didn't want to die, so he hurriedly said, "No, we can talk about it." "Talk? Talk about what?" Yang Hanwu said coldly, 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones, so be it. If you don't agree, then this finger of mine will pierce through your head." I agree, okay?" The Demon King cursed in his heart. This was simply a bastard. Damn it, he was even more of a thief than the Demon Clan. 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones, ah. When he met a real demon clan member, he only spent 100,000 top-grade spirit stones to establish a connection. This vampire actually wanted 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones, damn it, too damn it. This time, he would give it to him. In the future, he would find a way to kill this damned human. He didn't have the confidence and didn't want to take the risk. Therefore, the Demon King's eyes turned, and an idea came up in his mind. If he didn't dare to take the risk, then he could let the Demon Clan, the real Earth Demon Clan, deal with him. In the depths of the Earth Demon Mountain, there was a seal. That seal was the forbidden area of the entire Earth Demon Mountain. A terrifying Earth Demon was sealed inside. It used to be the emperor of the Earth Demon Clan, and its strength was boundless. Even saints and great saints couldn't destroy it, and could only seal it. As long as this guy was lured into the Earth Demon Seal, this human would die without a burial place. Therefore, the Demon King said, "Young master, I can give you 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones, but it's not in my hands. It's in our Earth Demon Clan's treasury. If young master isn't afraid, then follow me." Yang Hanwu said coldly, "You want to play tricks? Do you know that you're courting death?" With one look, he knew that this guy must have some tricks up his sleeve, so he wouldn't agree. How could it be so easy to scheme against him? I wouldn't dare. The Demon King quickly shook his head and said, "Young master, what are you talking about? With young master's peerless divine ability, you can easily crush me to death with just a finger. How could I dare to play tricks on young master? In fact, my clan doesn't have 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones. But we do have an item that is priceless. It's a rare treasure, and it's worth more than 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones. Therefore, if young master wants 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones, I can only use that treasure as collateral. Of course, if young master is afraid, then there's nothing I can do." Treasure? What treasure? Yang Hanwu knew that this guy's words couldn't be trusted, but it still aroused Yang Hanwu's curiosity. Something that could be worth more than 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones was definitely not an ordinary thing. One had to know that in the ancient domain, 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones could be exchanged for an emperor weapon. Of course, no one would be willing to take out an emperor weapon to exchange. However, 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones was definitely a shocking amount. Even in the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, as the leader of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, he might not have 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones on him. Chapter 657. The ancient seal. A treasure worth 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones was enough to pique Yang Hongwu's curiosity. "Master, don't trust him," the transformed old ape said. "It's too dangerous. He's definitely plotting something against you. If you're afraid, then you don't have to come. You can kill me," the Demon King said. "But I'm sure you'll be interested in that item. It's a priceless treasure, worth far more than 1,000,000 spirit stones. Unfortunately, it's useless to me." "Master, say no more. I know what to do." Yang Hanwu saw that the old ape was about to continue, so he waved his hand. The old ape didn't say anything. Saying more wouldn't be appropriate. It would cause his master's disgust. What's more, once his master made a decision, it was difficult to change it. As a servant, he couldn't stop him. All he could do was do his best to protect his master. "Good. You really are no ordinary man, master. However, I must warn you that obtaining that item won't be easy. You may lose your life," the Demon King said. "You're so kind." Yang Hanwu looked at the Demon King. This guy wanted nothing more than to kill him. He didn't expect him to warn him at a time like this. There was more to this guy than met the eye. Did he see that he was an arrow at the end of its flight? Was everything he'd done before all an act? If that was the case, then why was he doing all this? Was it to kill him? Or was it to steal his bloodline? Deep Nose had thought he was a demon hunter, and wanted to consume him to improve his own cultivation and his own bloodline. Although Yang Hanwu didn't know much about the bloodline of demon hunters, he was certain that it would be of great help to the demons, or perhaps to the earth demons. So it was possible that this guy was doing it on purpose. Of course, this was only Yang Hongwu's guess. However, there was one thing that he was absolutely certain of, and that was that the Demon King definitely did not have good intentions. He was definitely scheming something. This trip would definitely be dangerous. Moreover, it was very likely that it would be life-threatening. However, that item, which the Demon King had mentioned, was extremely attractive to Yang Hongwu. In this Earth Demon Mountain, there was indeed a treasure. Yang Hongwu had already sensed it, and it had even attracted Yang Hongwu's dragon soul. Since this item could attract the dragon soul, it was definitely a good item, a treasure that was fated with him. The Demon King chuckled. Kind intentions? If you say so, so be it. No need to provoke me. I will go. I want to see what kind of treasure it is. Yang Hongwu snorted coldly. Ha, young master, this way please. The Demon King extended his hand towards Yang Hongwu. In fact, the Demon King was afraid of Yang Hongwu, and he did not want to lose that huge amount of spirit stones. Therefore, he came up with this move. Earth Demon Seal, Earth Demon Sovereign, TSK, their strength is not to be underestimated. And this human boy's strength is not weak either, and he has a secret technique that specifically targets the Earth Demon clan. If both of them were to suffer, that would be the best outcome. Within the Earth Devil Seal, only the Earth Devil Human King knew of the terrifying Earth Devil Sovereign. The Earth Devil Emperor was a huge attraction to the Earth Devil Human King. If he could refine the Earth Devil Emperor and devour its blood essence, then the Earth Devil Human King would truly become an Earth Devil. Moreover, the Earth Devil Human King would become the most powerful royal family of the Earth Devils. At that time, once the Earth Demon clan broke the seal and invaded the ancient domain, then he would become the leader of the Earth Demon clan, the Emperor of the Earth Demon clan. He would have a noble status, great power, and lofty status. The difference between the Emperor of the Earth Demon clan and the Earth Demon Human clan was too big. One was the heaven, the other was the earth. The Demon King was extremely ambitious. Otherwise, he would not have named himself as the Demon King. That was the Demon King, not the Earth Demon Human clan's king. The difference between the two was too big. Yang Hongwu and the old ape followed the Demon King and walked towards the depths of the Earth Demon Mountain. Along the way, they encountered many Earth Devil Human tribe members. These Earth Devil Human tribe members were very surprised to see their king with a human and an old ape. Moreover, it seemed that their king was very respectful to these two people, as if they were the ones treating their king. This made them very curious. Of course, they would not say anything. The Demon King was the absolute authority in the Earth Demon Human clan. No one dared to say anything against him. If they did, then they would be beheaded, unable to escape the fate of death. After walking for a while, they entered the depths of the Earth Demon Mountain. The miasma here was getting thicker and thicker. The Demon King did not remind him. Of course, he did not expect that the miasma would have any effect on Yang Hongwu. After all, if the miasma was effective, then he would have died in the miasma when he came in. However, Yang Hongwu was fine. Old Ape, however, showed some strange signs. His eyes began to turn red, as if he was starting to become irritable. Yang Hongwu knew that this was because the effect of the detoxification pill had begun to weaken. Moreover, the miasma here was becoming more and more terrifying. The concentration was increasing, and the toxicity was becoming stronger. This was why such a situation occurred. Old Ape, take this detoxification pill. Yang Hongwu took out a few more detoxification pills and handed them to Old Ape. Thank you, Master. Old Ape took the detoxification pill and swallowed it. After taking the detoxification pill, Old Ape's eyes became clear. Seeing this scene, the Demon King's mouth twitched. Good heavens, no wonder this human could freely enter this place. Not only was his cultivation strong, but there was also another reason. This human was actually an alchemist, and he had a pill that could dispel the miasma in the Earth Demon Mountain. A terrifying killing intent flashed in the Demon King's eyes. This killing intent disappeared in a flash. This human could not be left alive. If he had a lot of detoxification pills and let all those humans enter this place, then it would be a disaster for the Earth Demon Human clan. Although he was very strong, he was not much stronger than the super experts of other clans. More importantly, he had offended countless clans. For those old fellows, if there was a chance to kill him, they would definitely not let it go. He continued forward. Finally, he arrived in front of a cave. The cave was sealed by a stone door. On the stone door, there were ancient runes and restrictions. That was a seal. Yang Hanwu knew that this seal was the ancient demon sealing seal. Moreover, it was the most powerful type. Chapter 658. Earth Demon Emperor. He wondered what was inside the seal. Could there be a dragon sealed inside? Or a dragon weapon? This made Yang Hanwu very curious and excited. What exactly was it? Is it here? Yang Hanwu looked at the Demon King and asked. Yes, it's here. The Demon King nodded and said, the thing that young master wants is inside. It depends on whether young master has the guts to go in and take it. Saying that, the Demon King smiled faintly and looked at Yang Hanwu. There was a trace of disdain in that smile. Yang Hanwu didn't mind. He knew that the Demon King was trying to provoke him. The Demon King wanted him to go in. However, there was definitely danger inside. Moreover, the danger wasn't small. If he wasn't careful, he might die without a burial ground. Yang Hanwu let Mauer use her delusion breaker eyes to check, but she couldn't see what was inside. It was as if there was a layer of invisible power blocking her. The power that blocked Mauer's delusion breaker eyes was that layer of seal. This seal was so powerful that it could block Mauer's delusion breaker eyes. It was obvious that the seal wasn't simple. Moreover, he had never seen these ancient seal runes before. They were filled with an ancient and mysterious aura. It was unprecedented. Young master, don't worry. These seals won't stop you from entering. The Demon King seemed to have seen through Yang Hanwu's doubts and reminded him. Master. Old Ape was still very worried. He wanted to stop Yang Hanwu. After all, it was too dangerous. The seal was so powerful. Once he entered, if the thing inside wanted to do something, it would be life-threatening. Once Yang Hanwu died, the entire red-eyed long-armed ape clan, including him, would be buried with him. That was why he was so worried. Let's go. Yang Hanwu didn't give Old Ape a chance to speak. He directly walked towards the cave filled with seals. At this moment, seeing Yang Hanwu walking towards the cave, the Demon King's lips curled into a smug smile. Once they entered, regardless of whether this guy lived or died, it would be a huge benefit to the Demon King. Of course, what he looked forward to the most was for both sides to suffer. That way, he would be able to reap the greatest benefits. Without any hesitation, Yang Hanwu walked into the cave. Old Ape followed closely behind. Compared to Yang Hanwu's relaxed attitude, Old Ape was extremely nervous. Beads of sweat had already appeared on his forehead, and he gripped his weapon tightly with both hands. If anything were to happen, he would immediately make a move to protect his master. He would not allow him to be harmed in the slightest. Even if he were to die, he would fight for his master's survival. The Demon King was at the back. He was neither fast nor slow. A dozen breaths later, Yang Hanwu passed through the seal barrier and entered the cave. As soon as he entered, he felt a majestic demonic aura assaulting his face. The miasma inside was also the densest. This should be the source of the miasma. Yang Hanwu raised his head and saw a huge copper pillar several dozen zhang away. An earth demon as tall as a small mountain was tied to it. It was the Earth Demon Emperor. His entire body was bound by thick iron chains. Those iron chains had ancient runes and restrictions on them. These runes and restrictions were exactly the same as those on the stone door of the cave outside. What surprised Yan Hanwu the most was that the aura coming out of the Earth Demon Emperor's mouth and nostrils was the same terrifying miasma he encountered outside. Seeing this scene, Yan Hanwu was extremely shocked. Like Yan Hanwu, Old Ape was also very shocked. He knew from the ancient inherited memories that this was an Earth Demon, a true Earth Demon clan member. Moreover, he was the emperor of the Earth Demon clan. That was because this Earth Demon had a bull-like horn on his head. Only those with the royal bloodline among the Earth Devils would have horns. Moreover, from the horns, one could tell their cultivation level. There were circles on the horns. The more circles there were, the stronger the Earth Demon Emperor was. The Imperial Earth Demon's horns were densely packed with circles. It could be seen that this Earth Demon was very powerful. Moreover, this Earth Demon seemed to be in a deep slumber. However, it was emitting a terrifying pressure that made it difficult to breathe. Master, this guy should be an Earth Demon. Moreover, he's the emperor of the Earth Demon clan. His strength is very terrifying. He's not someone we can deal with. Old Ape whispered in Yan Hongwu's ear. He was afraid that he would wake up the Earth Demon Emperor. Even if the Earth Demon Emperor was sealed here, it was not impossible for him to kill the two of them. Yang Hongwu shook his head. He felt that the thing that attracted his dragon soul was coming from the thick chains that bound the Earth Demon Emperor. Of course, that included the huge copper pillar. The copper pillar and the chain seemed to be a set. Perhaps, it was a treasure, and this treasure was used to seal and trap the terrifying Earth Demon Emperor. The dragon soul's movements became even more intense, as if it was about to rush out. Yang Hongwu could only forcefully suppress it. At this time, if the dragon soul came out, who knew what would happen? He couldn't act rashly before he had a clear understanding of the situation. While Yang Hongwu was deep in thought, a rustling sound came from outside. That was the sound of the stone door closing. Then, with a loud bang, the stone door was completely sealed. Yang Hongwu cursed inwardly. He turned around and saw that the Demon King had indeed disappeared. A voice transmitted from the outside, "Haha, human, you should stay inside and accompany that terrifying Earth Devil Emperor. There is indeed a treasure inside, it is the bronze hammer that the Earth Devil Emperor is sitting on. It is called the God-destroying hammer and possesses boundless power. It is a powerful Emperor weapon and is the weapon used by the Earth Devil Emperor. Whether you can obtain it or not will depend on your own ability." The Demon King's tone was filled with ridicule. The Old Ape King's teeth itched with hatred as he roared, "Damn Earth Devil Human King, let us out. Quickly, let us out. Otherwise, once we get out, we'll make you suffer a fate worse than death, and annihilate your entire clan." Make me suffer a fate worse than death and exterminate my entire clan? Ha, what a joke. Wait until you can come out. The Demon King's tone was filled with contempt and ridicule. Wanting to come out was simply a dream. He controlled the stone door. If they wanted to come out, they would have to kill the Earth Demon Emperor and break the seal. Demon King, don't be too confident. Yang Hongwu's tone was still calm. He didn't seem angry, nor did he fly into a rage like the Demon King had expected. Instead, he was very confident, as if everything was within his expectations. To Yang Hongwu, this was within his expectations. Moreover, it wasn't difficult for him to deal with the Earth Demon Emperor. Yang Hongwu sensed the information transmitted by the Demon Hand. Chapter 659. Earth Devil Ancestors Evil Book. Yang Hongwu was no longer afraid of the Earth Devil Emperor after obtaining the information of the Devil Hand. Although this guy's strength was terrifying, it was like a small mountain that released a terrifying pressure. However, this guy couldn't do anything in front of the Devil Hand. In front of the Devil Hand, this big guy was just food. However, Yang Hongwu was very hesitant about releasing the Devil Hand. The trace of consciousness of the Devil Hand made Yang Hongwu even more shocked. What if the Devil Hand completely broke out? Would he be able to suppress it? If he couldn't suppress it, it would be very troublesome. However, if he didn't let the Devil Hand deal with the Earth Devil Emperor, he wouldn't be able to get out. He might even be killed by the Earth Devil Emperor and become its food. This wasn't what Yan Hanwu wanted to see. One was a path of life, the other was a path of death. Yan Hanwu would of course choose the path of life. As for how the devil hand would develop in the future, he would think about it later. Moreover, the devil hand seemed to be in an infant state. Although it had its own consciousness, it was very pure. This allowed Yan Hanwu to heave a sigh of relief. However, he was afraid that once the devil hand devoured the Earth Devil Emperor, the power of the devil hand would suddenly increase and grow to an unimaginable level. If that happened, things would be very troublesome. Master, what should we do? After the old ape desperately smashed the stone door for a while, he found that it was useless. This stone door wasn't something he could open. Even if his strength was 100 times stronger, he might not be able to open it. How could the stone door that sealed the Earth Devil Emperor be so simple? If it could be opened so easily, then what if the Earth Devil Emperor broke out of the door? Would anyone be able to stop it? Therefore, the seal, the stone door, and even the restrictions on it were very powerful. They were all saints, or even great saints, and not venerables. Don't worry, Yan Hanwu said. Since he already knew that the devil hand could deal with the Earth Devil Emperor, he wasn't worried. At least, the Earth Devil Emperor wouldn't be able to deal with him. What Yan Hanwu was curious about was the huge copper pillar and the chains that bound the Earth Demon Emperor. What was the origin of this? Since it was so attractive to his dragon soul, it must be related to the dragons or the 9 dragons' sacred body. Could it be that this was also part of the true dragon set? However, it didn't seem like it. If it had something to do with his true dragon set, its power shouldn't be so terrifying. His true dragon armor, true dragon blade, true dragon ring, true dragon zither, and so on, even if all of them worked together, their power would not be so terrifying. If it was a part of the true dragon set, then it wouldn't be his own dragon soul that caused the reaction, but the true dragon set. The Earth Demon Emperor not far away was still snoring loudly. Every time he breathed, he would release a poisonous miasma. The poisonous miasma was extremely powerful. Even an Exalt Realm expert might not be able to resist it. Thus, it could be seen that this enormous fellow's strength was definitely above the Exalted Realm. In fact, it might even be a saint or a great saint-level devil. Master, do you have a way to deal with this Earth Demon? Old Ape had just bombarded the stone door and consumed a lot of energy. At this time, he was already panting. Looking at Yan Hanwu and seeing him so calm, the tensed nerves in his heart quietly relaxed. Since his master had such an expression, he must have the confidence to get out of here. Or, he must have the confidence to deal with this terrifying Dimo. Yes, although this Earth Demon is terrifying, it's not impossible to deal with. Yan Hanwu said, "You don't have to worry. Nothing will happen." As soon as his voice fell, the hill-like Earth Demon Emperor started to sway. The chains on its body swayed and issued clanking sounds. The entire ground started to tremble. The Earth Demon Emperor slowly opened his eyes. He was surprised to see Yan Hanwu, an old ape. Human. It's actually a human. You have an aura that I hate. I hate it. The Earth Demon Emperor stared at Yan Hanwu. The aura on your body is equally disgusting. Yan Hanwu wasn't afraid. However, Old Ape was a little scared and shivered. He couldn't bear a glance from the Earth Demon Emperor. They weren't on the same level at all. It was too powerful. There's another aura that makes me revere. It seems to be the aura of an ancestral devil. The Earth Demon Emperor said. Ancestral devil? Yan Hanwu was stunned. He had the aura of an ancestral devil? Could it be the devil hand? His devil hand was the hand of the ancestral devil of the devil race? Master, I know this. The ancestral devil of the Earth Demon race is called Lu Dian. He's very terrifying. Rumor has it that Lu Dian's strength is boundless. He can kill an ordinary great emperor with a single hand. He's one of the 3 great primogenitors of the devil race. The devil world was created by the 3 great ancestral devils. Old Ape said. Yang Hongwu looked at Old Ape in surprise. How do you know about this? Yang Hongwu didn't see any of this in the ancient records of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion. He didn't expect Old Ape to know about it. Could it be that the ancient records of the red-eyed long-armed ape race were even older than the human race? Yang Hongwu didn't believe it. Master. Actually, these things are in the inherited memories of our red-eyed long-armed ape race. We were called the demon race in ancient times. One of our primogenitors was called Sun Wukong. When he became a great saint, he was called the Great Sage, Heaven's Equal. He was very powerful and could kill a great emperor in the Great Saint realm. Old Ape said. Yang Hongwu rolled his eyes. What the F***ck, even the Great Sage, Heaven's Equal had appeared. Was there still a Tripitaka? Was there Zhu Beiji? Was there Mongsha? However, it wasn't strange. There were Qiyu, Xing Tian, Sun Wukong, Tripitaka, Tathagata, and so on. It wasn't strange at all. Moreover, there was still the Kunlun Immortal Mansion among the 4 great immortal mansions. What about the I Chi Turning 3 Pure One secret technique? However, the I Chi Turning 3 Pure One secret technique was cultivated by Taishan Laojuan's father. Of course, it was only a legend on Earth. As for whether it was real or not, no one knew. Kunlun Mountain should belong to Heavenly Lord Yuanshi. There was a difference here. As for what the difference was, whether there was really Taishan Laojun, Heavenly Lord Yuanshi, and so on, he would have to wait until he was strong enough to know. Chapter 660. Earth Demon Energy. For this reason alone, I can give you a chance to live. The monarch looked at Yang Hongwu. Submit to me and become my slaves. If you do, I will spare your lives. In addition, I will help you advance to godhood. The monarch's strength was extraordinary. He could see that Yang Hongwu's constitution was special. He was strong and had a solid foundation. If he could subdue and train him, he would be a terrifying foe. He suspected that Yang Hongwu had the constitution of a demon hunter. In terms of strength, a demon hunter's constitution was lethal to demons, but in truth it was a bloodline suppression. No one knew that a demon hunter's constitution was actually a part of the demon race's ancestral bloodline. This was because only the primogenitor bloodline of the demon race could exert such great pressure on the demon race, preventing them from exerting their full strength. The monarch was at the pinnacle of the demon race's power, but he was far from being a true ancestor. They weren't even on the same level. If he could raise this guy, then when he was strong enough, he could devour him and refine him. Then he could reach the heavens in a single bound and become one of the demon race's primogenitors. Ha, you sure talk big. You want me to submit to you and become your slave? What a joke. Yang Hongwu laughed. The monarch didn't know what he was talking about. Did he really think he could be slaughtered at will? If that was the case, would he have dared to come here? He had many cards up his sleeve. If he used them all, how could a mere sealed monarch be his match? If he was at his peak, perhaps Yang Hongwu would be wary of him. However, this guy had been sealed for countless years, and his cultivation was probably many times weaker than before. If you don't agree, then I'll just have to kill you. It's been a long time since I've had a good meal. You human, you have the aura of the demon ancestor inside you. If I devour you, I might be able to restore my cultivation and break this damned seal. As he spoke, the monarch opened his mouth and spat out a ball of energy. The ball of energy took the shape of a miniature monarch, holding a giant hammer in his hand. The giant hammer came crashing down on Yang Hongwu. The terrifying aura made Old Ape's heart tremble. There was no way he could resist it. The terrifying aura made it difficult for him to breathe. His heart was filled with shock. I'm dead. I'm really going to die here. This was what Old Ape thought. However, Yang Hongwu didn't care about it at all. This kind of oppressive aura had no effect on Yang Hongwu. The sealed demonic hand in Yang Hongwu's right hand. Yang Hongwu raised his right hand and a huge demonic god phantom appeared in the air. The demonic god's shadow was unreal, but it was extremely terrifying. With a flick of his finger, the terrifying pressure was instantly reduced to ashes and dissipated in the air. Shocking. It was too shocking. Although he knew that his master was powerful and had a trump card to deal with this Earth Demon Emperor, he didn't know what kind of trump card his master had. However, this was a little too terrifying. Just a phantom was so terrifying. Was this the person who was guarding his master? That was at least the will of a great emperor. Was there a great emperor behind him? Or was there an existence more terrifying than a great emperor? The black shadow was filled with a destructive aura. Ancestral demon? Could it be that the monarch was telling the truth? That there was a powerful ancestral demon behind his master? However, this didn't seem right. His master was a human. He was definitely a human. How could he be recognized by the ancestral demon? Moreover, the cultivation technique that his master cultivated wasn't the demon race's cultivation technique. All of this gave him too much of a shock. He simply had no way to figure it out, but he knew one thing, and that was that no matter what his master would become in the future, his scarlet-eyed long-armed ape race no longer had any room for change. There was no way out. Sure enough, it's the ancestral demon. The monarch said coldly. Why would the ancestral demon protect a human like you? The ancestral demon's bloodline is too wasteful on you. Give it to me. As long as I devour you and obtain the ancestral demon's bloodline, I can advance to a higher level. At that time, I can break the seal and occupy the entire ancient domain. The monarch's eyes flickered with madness. The smaller monarch's hammer smashed towards Yan Hanwu. Its speed was extremely fast. In a breath's time, it had already arrived in front of Yan Hanwu. Demon exterminating finger. Yan Hongwu's eyes shot out a ray of light as he released his finger. With a move of his finger, Yan Hongwu was sent flying. Spitting out a mouthful of blood, he smiled bitterly in his heart. It seemed like he wasn't a match for the monarch without using the demon hand. The difference between his strength and the monarch's was too great. Even if the monarch was sealed, he still couldn't deal with it. Weak, too weak. You didn't use the ancestral demon's power at all. It's a waste, too wasteful. Give it to me. The monarch turned into a mass of demonic chi and condensed into a huge hand, grabbing towards Yan Hongwu. Humph, do you really think I'm that weak? You asked for it. Yan Hongwu got up and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Looking at the huge demonic hand formed by the monarch, he raised his right hand and removed the suppression on the demonic hand. The demonic hand was released. This was the first time Yan Hanwu used the demonic hand, and he could control it. Previously, Yan Hanwu couldn't control the demonic hand's power. But this time, Yan Hanwu was the one controlling the demonic hand. Controlling the demonic hand's power, Yan Hanwu had a domineering aura, as if the universe was under his control. In the 9 heavens and 10 earths, no one could rival him. A huge vortex appeared in the palm of his right hand, producing a terrifying suction force. Earth demonic chi, come here. The horrifying vortex in Yan Hongwu's right hand sucked the monarch's hand over. The monarch's hand was formed by his power. It was the earth demonic chi, the source of the monarch's power. But at this moment, it was met with Yan Hongwu's demonic hand. No one knew what kind of existence Yan Hongwu's demonic hand was, but it was most likely the arm of the ancestral demon. That horrifying vortex sucked in the earth demonic chi continuously. The monarch lost control of his earth demonic chi in an instant, and his face was horrified. Damn it! How could this be? He thought that Yan Hanwu couldn't control the ancestral demon's bloodline. But now, it seemed that things weren't that simple. He regretted it. Why did he have to provoke this guy? Why did he have to anger him? Chapter 661. Demon Hand shows its might go back? Ha, you must be dreaming. How could Yan Hanwu let him go? Even if Yan Hanwu was willing to let him go, would the demon hand let him go? This was a fat piece of meat that was already at his mouth. How could he let it go? To the demon hand, the earth demon chi was a great supplement. It could increase the strength of the demon hand. He would never let it go. Not only did the demonic hand not let go of the demonic hand, but it also became even more powerful, and the speed of its absorption became even faster. The Earth Demonic Emperor felt that its Earth Demonic Chi was like a dam that had been opened, pouring out in torrents. It was unstoppable. Damn it! Damn it! The Earth Demon Emperor roared, but there was nothing he could do. This guy's right hand was too terrifying. That was definitely the aura of an ancestral demon. Only an ancestral demon could be so terrifying. At this moment, the Earth Demon Emperor was filled with regret. That was the prestige of an ancestral demon. What was an ancestral demon? It was the supreme existence of the demon race. It was not to be blasphemed or provoked. What he did just now was a provocation to the ancestral demon. Once he provoked the ancestral demon, the consequences would be unimaginable. Break! Break for me! The Earth Demon Emperor was also a ruthless person. He had detonated his own Earth Demon Chi. That was half of the Earth Demon Chi, which was the origin energy. Adding the part that had been consumed before, 2/3 of the origin energy had been consumed. This greatly reduced the strength of the Earth Demon Emperor. Without 100 years, there was no way for him to recover. Earth Demon Emperor? Yang Hanwu looked at this guy. He did not expect that this guy would have a way to get rid of the demon hand. However, Yang Hanwu did not intend to let him go so easily. Just when he was about to attack, the Earth Demon Emperor said, "Hold on." "What? Do you have any last words?" Yang Hanwu asked. "Don't push me too far." The Earth Demon Emperor said, "Otherwise, we will fight to the death." Yang Hanwu saw the crazed look in the Earth Demon Emperor's eyes. He knew that if this guy were to self-destruct, it would be extremely terrifying. Although the demonic hand had just devoured 2/3 of his strength, the self-destruction of 1/3 of his strength was enough to annihilate this part of space. With his current strength, he would not be able to withstand it. Furthermore, he would not even have the chance to escape. "How about we make a deal?" Yang Hanwu said after some thought. Now that Yang Hanwu had devoured so much of the Earth Demon Sovereign's energy, his strength had increased tremendously. Of course, the power of the Devil Hand was even more terrifying. Yang Hanwu was already at the 7th level of the Tao Pedestal Realm. He had risen by 2 levels in an instant, reaching the 7th level of the Tao Foundation Realm. The difference between the 6th level and the 7th level of the Tao Foundation Realm was a watershed. Yang Hanwu had risen from the 5th level of the Tao Platform Realm to the 7th level. His battle prowess had increased by more than 3 times. Of course, this was in a situation where he didn't use the Battle Spirit Possession. If he used the Battle Spirit Possession, it would be impossible to triple his combat strength. Presently, Yang Hanwu's true strength was invincible beneath the Exalt Realm even if he didn't utilize Battle Spirit Possession. "What did you say?" The Earth Demon Sovereign's face turned cold. He knew that this guy was definitely up to no good and wanted to gain some benefits from him. The Earth Demon Sovereign had no other choice. He was sealed here and couldn't use his strength. In addition, Yang Hanwu had the ancestral devil's methods that could restrain him. This made him very depressed. If he wasn't sealed, even if he had the ancestral devil's supreme treasure on him, he was confident that he could defeat him and seize it. "You are the Earth Demon Sovereign. Your strength is formidable, and you are a powerful existence within the Earth Demon clan. Presumably, you have many treasures, right?" Yang Hanwu looked at him and said, "If you want me to let you go and stop devouring your energy, it's not impossible. As long as you take out an Emperor weapon, that will be enough. Of course, if you are willing to submit to me, I can let you go." Yang Hanwu discovered that the huge copper pillar and iron chain had something that attracted the Dragon Soul. Above them was the ancient power of the Dragon Soul. No wonder his Dragon Soul had such a great attraction. His Dragon Soul seemed to be able to devour and refine the power of the Dragon Soul to improve. Once he refined the power of the dragon soul, the huge copper pillar and iron chain would become his treasures. For the Earth Demon Sovereign, without the suppression of the copper pillar and iron chain, it wouldn't be difficult for him to break free. He just needed to spend some time to break the seal. In fact, the source of the seal's power was the copper pillar and iron chain. The copper pillar and iron chain could continuously absorb the power of the outside world, absorbing the power of the spirit vein below. This spirit vein wasn't an ordinary spirit vein, but a dragon vein. Therefore, without the copper pillar and iron chain, the seal wouldn't be able to absorb the power of the dragon vein to suppress the Earth Demon Sovereign. Over time, the seal's power would weaken, and the Earth Demon Sovereign would be able to break free. The Earth Demon Sovereign's face was extremely gloomy. What kind of joke was this? Submit to him? How could that be? He was the emperor of the Earth Demon clan, an existence close to a great emperor at his peak. How could he submit to a human with a cultivation base of the Tao pedestal realm? How could that be? Therefore, he would never agree to it. You want me to submit to you? Dream on, unless you are a great emperor. The Earth Demon Sovereign said gloomily, although you have the treasure of the ancestor devil, so what? If you don't have the treasure, I can easily kill you. If you want to subdue me, you better give up. As for the emperor weapon you want, I can give it to you. What a pity, what a pity. Yang Hanwu shook his head and said, I didn't expect that you would rather die than submit to me. What a pity. What do you mean? The Earth Demon Emperor asked when he heard this. What do I mean? Didn't you notice that your cultivation base has started to weaken after losing more than half of it? Although my strength hasn't reached the level of a venerable, saint, or great emperor, I'm a pretty good array master. In terms of spirit, I'm also quite talented. Now that you've lost more than half of your strength, the seal above has gained the upper hand and will continue to devour your strength to strengthen itself. At that time, your strength will become weaker, and this seal will become stronger. After a few hundred years, you'll be completely devoured and disappear from this world. Yan Hanwu said. In fact, Yan Hanwu wasn't just joking. It was the truth. Chapter 662. Demon Clan. The Earth Demon Emperor's expression changed greatly upon hearing this. He knew that the fellow in front of him was speaking the truth. The reason why his cultivation didn't regress and instead increased was because he was powerful. Although the formation sealed him, it couldn't destroy him. It could only suppress him and prevent him from leaving. But now, he had consumed a lot of his strength. 2/3 of his Earth Demon Chi had been devoured, greatly reducing his strength. He hadn't noticed what Yang Hanwu had said before. However, the moment Yang Hanwu said that, the Earth Demon Emperor realized that the seal restriction and array formation runes were really devouring his power. If this continued, he wouldn't be able to hold on for more than 100 years. He would be devoured alive by the seal and formation runes. This was too shocking for the Earth Demon Emperor to accept. Of course, he didn't want to die. He had the chance to become a great sovereign of the Demon Clan. But he couldn't accept dying here. But even if he knew, he wouldn't show it on his face. As an emperor, as a super expert of the Earth Demon Clan, how could he show it on his face? Although he was very nervous and worried, he couldn't show it easily. At least, he couldn't expose it now. If he could deceive this human, then it would be the best. But how could Yang Hanwu be deceived so easily? Even though she didn't know what Zhang Xian was thinking at this moment, she could roughly guess what he was thinking. Surrender? You want me to surrender? That's absolutely impossible. As for the Emperor weapon, I can give it to you if you have the guts to take it. The Earth Demon Emperor snorted coldly. Ha, you're underestimating me. What do I, Yan Hanwu, not dare to do? Don't think that I can't do anything to you. Even if you self-destruct, I still have a way to escape. It's just that I don't want to waste the treasure. It's not worth it for me. It's too wasteful to waste a treasure of mine for a little demon like you. Yang Hanwu laughed and said loudly, The Earth Demon Emperor's face stiffened when he heard this. This bastard dared to say that. Damn it, damn it. He hated Yang Hanwu to the core and wanted to cut him into pieces. But he didn't dare to get angry. What if this guy really had the confidence to escape? Of course, he didn't dare to self-destruct. It was impossible. The Earth Demon Emperor snorted, "Come and get it yourself." He spat something out from his mouth. It was a small black ball, emitting an evil aura. Yang Hongwu's face changed when he sensed the evil aura. Evil, filled with supreme curses. This was too bizarre, too terrifying. At this moment, Shi Baoer, who was in the Yang Hanwu celestial abode, exclaimed, "The root of all evil. This is actually the root of all evil. How is this possible? How could he have such a terrifying thing? The source of all evil?" Yang Hanwu was stunned. What is it? Is it very powerful? Yang Hanwu had never seen Shi Baoer so shocked. Although the black bead had a very evil aura, it shouldn't have caused such a huge change in Shi Baoer. He wasn't so shocked even when he was in the Earth Spirit Palace. This bead with an evil aura had caused such a huge reaction. It seemed that this bead wasn't as simple as it seemed. The source of all evil. This name was very domineering. The source of evil. As the name implied, this bead was probably the source of evil. It's even more terrifying than the devil race. It's said that in the ancient times, before the devil race and the other races of the 9 heavens and 10 earths were separated, the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths was a chaotic continent. Outside of the chaotic continent, there was an evil race called the devil race. The devil race was the real evil existence. They entered every universe and every continent, and would carry out endless slaughter. Wherever they went, they would be destroyed. Among them, the strongest leader was the most evil existence. With just a thought, he could trigger the evil thoughts of the great sovereign. He could summon the devil race's devil bead. Shi Baoer said, "The source of all evil is the devil bead of the leader of the devil race. It's the source of his power." You're saying that this bead is the source of power of the leader of the terrifying fiend clan? Yang Hanwu was shocked. If this was the case, this bead was so terrifying. It could summon the evil thoughts of a great emperor with just a thought. How terrifying was his cultivation? How powerful was his source of power? But how could it be so simple? Yang Hanwu couldn't believe it. Although this bead was full of evil qi, it didn't seem to have much effect on the Earth Demon Emperor when he put it in his body. But this bead isn't that terrifying, Yang Hanwu said. Haha, I don't know whether this is the devil race's origin bead or the source of all evil. But there's one thing I'm sure of. There's a powerful seal in this bead. This seal can't be unlocked by ordinary people. Even a great emperor can't do it, Shi Baoer said. Yang Hanwu was deeply shocked. If even the great emperor couldn't break the seal, then this bead must have a great origin. It might really be the source of all evil, the origin bead of the leader of the evil demon clan. But wouldn't it be useless for him to get this thing? Instead, it would cause great harm to him. This Earth Demon Emperor was really up to no good. Such an evil thing might be a good tonic for the devil race, but that was only for the powerful devil race. At this time, the Earth Demon Emperor's strength was weakened. He might not be able to suppress the devil race's origin bead, so he took it out. Not only could it solve his future troubles, but it could also cause Yang Hanwu a lot of trouble. This could be said to be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. This was the place where the Earth Demon Emperor was sealed. He had no way to get out. If he didn't take out the devil race's origin bead, it would affect the Earth Demon Emperor all the time. At that time, he didn't know what would happen to the Earth Demon Emperor after a long time. He might even become the slave of the terrifying devil race's leader. But once the bead left this space, it would have no effect on the Earth Demon Emperor, freeing him up to deal with the sealing formation and restrictive runes. However, since Yang Hanwu had discovered it, how could he let it go so easily? Yang Hanwu didn't intend to take it. Chapter 663. Creating a small world. Don't worry. At this moment, Scherbauer said, the root of all evil may be harmful to others, but it'll be of great help to you. Great help? Yang Hanwu was stunned when he heard this. He really couldn't think of how this thing could help him. He couldn't refine the power of the bead, and it was constantly affecting him. Aren't you creating your own small world? Scherbauer asked. Yang Hanwu nodded. He was indeed opening up his own world, but not now. He had to wait until he reached the divine realm before he could open up his own world. His strength was still weak, and his realm was not high enough. Of course, it was impossible for him to open up his own world now. Does this mean that the devil's bead, the origin of all evil, can help me create a small world? Yang Hanwu asked. Although the power contained in this bead is extremely evil, it's actually a kind of origin energy of the universe. It's extremely pure. It's not impossible to refine it for your own use. Scherbauer said, it's just that it's very difficult. Do you mean that I can use the power of this bead to create my own small world? When Yang Hanwu heard this, he was pleasantly surprised. If he could really open up his own small world at this time, at this realm, that would be great. This wasn't something an ordinary person could do. Even the peerless geniuses and great emperors couldn't create their own small worlds in the Tao pedestal realm. If he could do it, he would be the first person to do it. Perhaps no one would be able to do it in the future. Yes, but danger and opportunity coexist. It's very dangerous to use this bead to create a small world. After all, it's not an ordinary bead. Moreover, the small world created by using this bead should be a smaller version of the devil's world. It won't be an ordinary small world. Scherbauer said. The devil's world? What's different about it? Yang Hanwu frowned. Was the devil's world equivalent to the devil tribe's world? The devil's world is very bad. The evil chi is dense and pure, and it's the best place for the devil tribe to cultivate. However, it's not suitable for human warriors to cultivate there. In fact, there's nothing wrong with it for you. It's just that normal human warriors can't enter your small world. Only by putting creatures from the devil's world into your small world can your small world grow. In other words, after you finish absorbing the power of the devil's bead, you can only find the devil tribe or the devil's world to improve your small world. Scherbauer. You mean, once I use the devil's bead to open up a small world, I can only use the power of the devil's bead to expand my small world? Once the power of the devil's bead is exhausted, I can only find other devil tribes or go to the devil's world to improve my small world? Yang Hanwu asked. Yes, that's what I mean. Scherbauer nodded. This. Yang Hanwu frowned. This was really difficult for him. The devil's world could only be improved by relying on the power of the devil's bead. If that was the case, it would be very difficult for him to expand his small world. Is there no other way? Of course there is. Otherwise, I wouldn't ask you to do this. In fact, the reason why this devil's bead can be called the origin of all evil is because the bead is extremely powerful. It's the devil's bead of a terrifying leader of the devil clan. It contains extremely terrifying power. Once completely refined, it's enough to make your small world reach the size of ancient domain, or even heavenly domain. Scherbauer said, moreover, you can open up another small world. If a warrior has enough strength and accumulated enough experience, he can open up more than just a small world. Yang Hanwu was shocked to the extreme. Not only could he open up a small world, this meant that besides using the devil's bead to open up a small world, if he had enough strength, he could also open up another small world. Of course, ordinary people can't do it. They need a special cultivation technique and powerful talent. Scherbauer said, you don't lack talent. I can give you the cultivation technique. Great. Then I'll use this devil's bead to open up a small world. Yang Hanwu was pleasantly surprised. Opening up two small worlds was something he didn't even dare to think about. Since he could open up one small world, could he open up two or even three? Thinking of this, Yan Hongwu's eyes flashed with deep surprise. I'll teach you the method to open up a small world. After Bauer finished speaking, Yan Hongwu felt a stream of information rush into his sea of consciousness. Suddenly, there was a cultivation technique in his sea of consciousness. The highest creation technique. What a great highest creation technique. Yan Hongwu was shocked. Who was the highest creation technique? Yan Hongwu didn't know, nor did he know, but he was sure that the person who created this cultivation technique was extremely powerful. He was probably an existence that surpassed the great emperor. Perhaps even those ancient and powerful great emperors weren't a match for him. He was an existence that far surpassed them. This cultivation technique could create countless worlds and universes. As long as one's strength was strong enough, they could open up enough worlds. With Yan Hongwu's current strength, of course, he couldn't open up even one world. After all, his cultivation realm was too low. However, with this devil's bead, things would be different. It could open up a small world, and a powerful one at that. If the devil's bead was successfully opened, it would become the world bead of the small world. It would provide a steady stream of origin energy, and the small world would grow continuously. As the small world grew, Yan Hongwu's strength would continue to improve. Open up a small world now? Yan Hongwu hesitated. Bauer wanted him to open up a small world now. However, there was an Earth Demon Emperor here. This guy's strength was not to be underestimated. If he was disturbed, it would be troublesome. If he was careless, he might be doomed eternally. Of course, open it now. Bauer said, with your strength, this devil's bead can't suppress you at all. You can't use the power of this devil's bead to open up a small world. Therefore, you need my help. What about the Earth Demon Emperor? Chapter 664. Small World Formation. Fully activate the Genesis cultivation technique. I'm going to activate the energy of the devil's bead, Bauer said loudly in Yan Hongwu's sea of consciousness. Yan Hongwu nodded his head. Fully activating the Genesis cultivation technique, he started to open his own small world. A majestic energy rushed into Yan Hongwu's dantian, condensing a small crystal core in Yan Hongwu's dantian. Then, the small crystal core kept condensing and growing. It was so fast that it felt like his dantian was going to explode. Then, Bauer released a pure energy and compressed it. Yan Hongwu heaved a sigh of relief. Damn, this is really damn. If I were to do it, I wouldn't be able to compress it at all. The Codex of Creation began by condensing a realm core crystal. Then, this realm core crystal had to be continuously refined and absorbed enough energy, allowing it to grow. Once it grew to a certain extent, it would begin to be compressed. Only when it was compressed to the extreme could it truly open up a small world. For Yan Hongwu, with the help of the devil's bead and Bauer, it was equivalent to saving the process of accumulating energy and spiritual energy. On top of that, there was also one less process of compressing. As long as he condensed the realm crystal core, he could directly open a small world. For a martial artist, even if he was in the divine realm or the honorable realm, it would take a long time to accumulate enough energy to open a small world. If he didn't have any fortuitous encounters, it would be impossible in the honorable realm. Moreover, Yan Hongwu was only in the Tao pedestal realm now. When the Earth Demon Emperor saw that Yan Hongwu had fallen into a special state after obtaining the devil's bead, he stood there as if he was possessed. His expression kept changing as if he was under great pressure and pain. At first, the Earth Demon Emperor was overjoyed. This damned human brat wants my treasure? Dream on. Now, he's dead for sure. Old Ape, on the other hand, was extremely worried. He glared at the Earth Demon Emperor and said, "Damned demon, what kind of curse did you cast on my master?" "Ha, it's your master who is too greedy. It's not that easy to take what belongs to me, the Earth Demon Emperor." The Earth Demon Emperor laughed heartily. He did not care about this old monkey at all. If it was the terrifying great sage of the demon race, then it would be fine. But this old monkey, no, it was a weak monkey, who could not withstand a single blow. The Earth Demon Emperor could easily crush him to death with one finger. "I'll fight you to the death." The old ape was furious and rushed toward the Earth Demon Emperor. "Humph, little monkey, you want to risk your life against me?" The Earth Demon Emperor snorted coldly. He spat out a mouthful of demon chi, which turned into a huge copper hammer and smashed onto the old ape's body. The old ape was sent flying and fell to the foot of the wall, unable to move. However, the Earth Demon Emperor soon stopped laughing, because he found that Yang Hongwu's body was filled with the negative and evil energy from the bead. This energy was originally his tonic, but since his cultivation had regressed and he had suffered great damage, he could no longer suppress it. He would be injured if he absorbed some of it. It was precisely because of this that he gave the bead to Yang Hongwu. But he did not expect that such a majestic evil energy would be released like a torrent. This was really bad. Damn it, this brat, what the hell is he doing? This was too much. This evil energy was affecting him. The Earth Demon Emperor had no choice but to suppress this evil energy. If he did not suppress it, he was afraid that he would be affected by this evil energy. Moreover, if this continued, he was afraid that this evil energy would consign him to eternal damnation. He did not want to become a slave to this evil energy. In fact, the Earth Demon Emperor did not know that this was done by Yang Hongwu and Bauer on purpose. This enormous evil energy and negative emotions were too terrifying. That supreme devil had killed countless people and experts, and might have even destroyed countless universes and worlds. That was why he gathered all this resentment and evil energy. Ordinary people could not bear it at all. If all of it erupted, even a great saint would not be able to withstand it. Even great emperors would be affected. The Earth Demon Emperor was desperately resisting. At this time, Yang Hongwu had already opened a crack in the realm core with the help of Bauer, opening up a small space. What he needed to do now was to keep expanding this small space. He used the power of the devil bead to keep expanding and attacking this small space. This space was expanding at an extremely fast speed. In a breath's time, it had expanded to several hundred feet. This speed was extremely shocking. It was simply unimaginable for ordinary people. This was the enormous power contained in the devil bead. Moreover, it had only consumed a drop in the ocean. The small world in Yang Hongwu's body was getting bigger and bigger, and Yang Hongwu's strength was also increasing. Level 8 Dao Foundation Realm. Level 9 Dao Foundation Realm. Peak Dao Foundation Realm. In just a short time, Yang Hongwu's cultivation had already reached the peak of Dao Foundation Realm. This speed was really shocking. Half-step Divine Realm. Finally, Yang Hongwu's strength stopped increasing when he reached the first step Divine Realm. At this moment, the small world in Yang Hongwu's body was already 10,000 feet wide. If those martial artists who had opened up their own small worlds were to know of this, they would probably be ashamed to death. They had just opened up their small worlds, and they had already reached 10,000 feet. What kind of concept was that? They had cultivated for countless years, and after opening up their small worlds, they would grow bit by bit. They might not even be able to grow 10 feet in a day. However, in less than a few hours, his small world was already 10,000 feet wide, and it was still growing. However, Yang Hongwu's small world was different from other people's small worlds. The world origin energy in other people's small worlds was low level. A newly open world's power was not particularly advanced. However, Yang Hongwu's small world's world origin energy was actually the devil origin energy. This was the devil clan's world origin energy, and it was the world origin energy of the devil clan's leader. This kind of world origin energy, in addition to being evil and full of destruction, was of very advanced power. Even with Bauer's protection, Yang Hongwu could feel the horrible negative information, and he had an impulse to kill. This was an impulse that could not be restrained. His eyes became crazed. Yang Hongwu, you have to resist. If you can't resist this negative information, you will become a puppet of the devil clan's leader. Bauer's shout appeared in Yang Hongwu's mind. This shout caused Yang Hongwu's entire body to tremble, and his eyes immediately became clear. You're tuning into the Mythic Realms YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.